It's always there, then you just turn it on when you need it on.
I may or may not have had that on a lower setting, but it's alright. Caught it pretty quick. Fairly quick.
Good for you.
Trevor made some enchanting rolls on his device. That is all we talked about venue. Yeah, there we go. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Click more links. Likes, right? Click more likes. Is that what we want?
Sure. All right. So you essentially had gone through your next week. You guys had been working on yours. B, you've been working with Dr. Varus and the team of people. The other two individuals he had recommended are pretty capable. You would say that the, in comparison to the two people you were thinking about kind of supervising it, there is a clear difference in their knowledge of alchemy. If anything, they're kind of like the two people that you're thinking about kind of taking operations are more equivalent to kind of a middle manager level of alchemy.
Right.
They should be able to manage a small amount, but definitely there would have been some kind of hiccups. Otherwise, right now you're setting up the infrastructure and building the actual containment units out of thaumium and various runes and runic crawling symbols that change color depending. There's also been talks of clay golems.
You gonna make clay golems?
Faded containment systems and other things of that nature. The detection, the faded things are just it filters out primal energy as it's kind of moving away from an object, just passively radiating out. So there's a tendency for things not to be able to pick it up at a distance.
That's good. That's good.
The clay golems, for the most part, are a non-biological spirit that could be bound, a minor earth spirit that wouldn't really have any intelligence by its own right, but bound into a form that can provide simple things like moving jars and what have you, or if there's some sort of breaking or something blatantly wrong, it can go and try to inform someone, at least try to pull them over, or at very worst, close the door before the fire incinerates everything.
There's a severe breach. I must take you over here.
Well, what is it? Very likely you'd have them labeled like 1 through 14, and you're like, well, 13's acting up. That means that something's wrong over there.
Yep.
And you have electricity running there, so you do have, I would say, temperature gauges and things like that. But
Yep.
supposedly the golems are a little bit more sensitive to thaumatological events.
Okay.
And some of this is cutting into the initial reserves that you're going to start to reduce in the first week or so.
That's fine. Spend it up. I'm there supervising.
So
That's
you-
what I do. I'm
you
happy.
made golems. Have you determined that?
I made 16 or 14 of them is what I heard.
Why?
For which ones now?
You said I made golems.
That's the idea. It's not fully set up yet. There are.
He tells you it's
There would
only on the
be-
I
chalkboard.
like it.
For the time period that has passed so far, there would be one fully functional site up. The other one is mostly functional. I mean, it runs, but it doesn't have everything that he had recommended.
Yep.
So right now you're producing about 8 a week, but that's all kind of going back in feeding the development of more of these.
Right.
The algae tanks can only take about half of the algae and then move it to a new location and
Yep.
so on and so forth. So eventually you'll start producing excess, which isn't needed for anything.
Yep.
Otherwise, like I had mentioned, Dr. Bruce seems to have a very clear command of alchemy, and he's even an accomplished sorcerer. He does ask about you developing more compounds. What is it? You developing more human habitation structures on site. And he does seem to indicate every once in a while that he has people working for him inside of Chicago, or not outside of Chicago, but given the turn of events as of recently, I suppose he kind of passively inquires about refugees coming here from another region.
He wants to bring his team to be with your team.
Well, if you've got a facility and
He says he has a
and
medical
stuff.
lab and a clinic that he operates, but he so far is still... He's not talking about coming here working himself, but it definitely seems as though he's a little bit worried about just things happening and him not being able to keep a lockdown on his facility where it is.
All right.
He will vaguely mention that he does not have the resources that Riker does.
I'll happily go into a meeting with Riker and him, and I'll talk to Riker ahead of time and basically find out if Riker has any interest in buying another company.
You've got essentially a projected budget for the next 3 years where essentially you need to start producing things to happen, which, he has the money right now to do something like that. He would be interested just because it is a medical lab and all of them are functional doctors. So he has on-site people that are decent at first aid, but he doesn't have any actually real, it's cholera. That's what you're developing. He's like, I don't know, I gave him an ice pack. And
We'll have a handshake alliance that if things go south, he can bring his people here and we'll work something out.
Riker had planned on developing some sort of, I suppose, kind of small field hospital here. As I had mentioned, there's only probably, I'd say the staff is about 32 with an additional families kind of attached to that, upwards of 135. But it looks as though the future developments for hundreds of people, probably around 600 to 700, it might be expanding past that point.
Well, maybe he wants to open up that field hospital for us and show his goodwill.
He could spend more time here. He assumes priority is on the...
Absolutely, on cascading our quintessence so we can help the war effort.
Yep.
And get some for ourselves.
You're going to have the Riker Company Town. You can go to the company store, or the company hospital, or the company jail if you act up.
If anything, a lot of the development does look to be using the field of the relay as some sort of barrier.
Yep.
So not a lot of things are kind of being built out. You have obviously the acreage, but then nobody builds way out near the river. They're like, about out there. No, just keep building closer. Can we build a little bit higher and dome-shaped?
That's where they put the cooler. So if you're in the company prison, you're not cooperating, you get to go to the cooler. Sorry, that's outside of the protective zone.
It's by the river.
But I don't want to go
The deep ones run it. We'll just be frank. You go in this
We're not
side, we open up the back gate, the deep ones come in and get you.
We're not expecting you to come back.
No, it's your independent research facility 17, and if you want to leave, you can just go to the other side of the river. That's where the zombies are. So he'll tell you that he'll end up having Felix North, one of his essentially his head physician aside from himself, set up your medical facilities here, and he'll tell Riker and or probably Jason Eichholt what needs to be set up here for a proper facility, but nobody's actually going to be here initially. But he get feelings that he has strong reservations about just days to come and in case anything happens. It seems like he's fairly busy, and his team might not be capable of handling, there's a ghoul attack or things of that nature. They're a little bit more mundane, but...
and who's the guy that I'm talking to about this? It's
Dr... What is it?
Varus, isn't it?
Varus, yeah.
All right.
From what you remember, you do have Edict memory. He owns a blue clinic. It's kind of like a last-ditch treatment for exotic diseases and other things of that nature. So kind of like terminal stage cancers and other various diseases they haven't really detailed yet. Kind of go there, or some people find their way there.
Is that Felix North or is that Varus?
Varus is, I suppose, kind of the chairperson of the clinic. The head physician would be Felix North.
Okay.
So Varus is operating when he is there, but obviously he works with the Chantry, so he could be off doing any kind of similar kind of premise to what you kind of do. Like you technically, when Walter is away, you are head of the industry or head of the research facility, but Jason Eichholt technically kind of runs everything. When you're like, I was in Australia, or I was up on some sort of ancient summit in some other different dimension.
Right.
I punched a giant rabbit.
Right. All right. I'm happy with my downtime. Thank you.
All right. So we can go into the next week if PCs want to, or...
Yep. I'd like to go into next week. Let these other guys go first.
All right. Coming into the next week, you'd have another one of your facilities come up and running. You do have two of the clay golems. They're probably about the size of a toddler. They do have decent dexterity, but they will just shut down if you ask them to do any kind of complex item.
Okay.
Varus says you can bind smarter spirits to them, but then you're at the risk of now this small clay, this thing that has a physical body in this world. He has his own thoughts and feelings, and maybe he gets bored. Maybe he starts asking, like, well, what does this do, and what's this label? And
right. No, we don't want that.
Beyond
Simple
that, Riker continually gives you updates regarding his progress on the transatlantic gate system. He thinks within another 6 weeks they're going to try to field test this, diverting energy from the dam that they have under construction in Nevada. And then they're going to try to, evacuate people, but also import large reserves of food caches and things like that from the Midwest.
All right. I'm happy with my downtime. I'm ready to pass
At any
it on.
point in time, you want to spend points into alchemy, machinist.
Yeah, I'll spend a
Hypertech.
bunch of points.
There's some hypertech that's being used. Most of it all is
Yeah, I'll buy Hypertech, yeah.
Thomtech also.
Tech. He could actually know what he's doing.
I already know Tech. I'll buy another one, sure.
So what, you just looking? Yep, that's the point.
I've got 15 or so. No, more than that.
It's not your
19 points.
normal sort of hypertech, but it's a lot of
Ooh, you can save
practical
for a stat. You're
hypertech.
close.
Is it Ultratech? Can I get another point of that?
I don't think you've really done anything with Ultratech.
No, I bought the first point.
Yep. You're aware of it, and Riker supposedly primarily deals. You could try to develop something with dark fluid technologies. Otherwise, Riker is aware that there's another theoretical particle that he has yet to develop a capture system here for.
Are you at the chantry?
Right now. So I've got one of B's rings, so you can go over there.
I'm happy. I'll throw
I'll
some
probably
points
just go
away.
back to the chantry. Well,
There's the list I was looking for.
Yeah. So, what he had mentioned before is that some of the Ultratech uses particles called apotheo particles.
Oh no.
And they're a type of chaos particles that are so unstable they actually collapse into their own stability.
Apotheo, eh? So I'd have to have engineer Apotheo.
You can make Ultratech with dark fluid technologies. It's just you'd be bridging the two.
I have Dark Fluid and Apotheo, so I can buy another point in each of them.
In the course of the 2 weeks, how many points have you spent on?
I haven't spent any points yet.
Okay. I would say you're primarily working on the systems with Verus, so it would be Alchemy, Machinist, Hypertech, or Thomtech. It's not your standard sort of Hypertech, but you're getting a lot of the fundamentals down. And I suppose your more general practice types of Hypertech, gauges, filter mechanisms, sensors, that type of thing. And if you wanted to develop specific electronic repair skills or engineering, you could do that as well.
Okay.
This system uses a lot of types of sensors and communication equipment.
Okay, I'll spend it on Alchemy, Thomtech. What was the last one? Engineer.
If you wanted to, electronics operations of sensors or repair or even engineering that's more specific than electronics.
Okay, done.
Otherwise, Walter Riker, you are aware, and he
have
would
a
have
hard
talked to
copy of
you.
the spell.
He's handed a little bit
Yeah.
of certain breakthroughs in what have you. Certain breakthroughs in power armor towards Captain Thomas in the meantime. He understands that he wants to work separately, but he says that he's not really concerned with a patent at this stage,
Yep.
or if that would be even enforceable in the future.
No, hold out for it.
But he has the basic prototypes that were back at the base. Those are still in storage. It's just some of the theoretical physics behind it. Well, not even some of the engineering behind it.
Okay.
All right, so either you two or Trevor,
Go, Trevor.
we're having another week?
you got
He needs a month, so he's on to his.
it's whatever you guys want
How
to
many
spend.
more weeks do we have?
You got a total of 2 more. This would be
Hopefully, the rest
Week
of your
one.
character's life.
There you go. That wasn't vague enough, so I'll tell you definitively. At least 2 more.
2 more? Okay.
And that completes his
Other
month.
watch.
All right. So you're a little bit more familiar with the enchantment,
I was looking for.
so you can give me a gravity ripple, and then a was it weave prime.
Yeah, I'm looking at maybe sustaining system.
And there's still a knob on there you said you wanted for the future that's not hooked up to anything, just
Correct.
in case.
So pass by 7.
Pass by 7. For the gravity ripple? Yeah, you can continue from here.
3 prime.
Yep.
6. That's a pass by 5.
Okay, it's coming along.
Day 3.
Yeah.
Day 2.
This would be day 2.
You want to go with me to the Dreamlands?
Hmm?
You can
So
say
it's pass by 5.
Okay. I'll just get it. Was it coming into the 3rd day? You will wrap up this device.
Okay, so I have both of them done.
I thought you were coming back to the challenge.
For the most part, I mean, nobody else knows how to really operate them without going in a field test day. They're just playing around with it. And free fall, of course, is using it very rapidly if something were to happen.
If B's going to be taking
So-
2 more weeks.
I think that
Talk to
wraps
one of the
up
other
I think we've
PCs
done
or
2 weeks,
even strap
everybody.
it onto a dog
This
with
is
a
week
remote
3.
lever.
Yeah, week 4.
Well, you saw the hand lever, right? It's like game controller stuff,
Yep.
kind of thing. Next on
Team's giving us the time to
Where's the
beef
list? I'll go up to B and be like, "Can I borrow some metal in one of your technicians?"
You want to find a platypoid?
Why?
I can find a platypoid.
What kind of metal, first off?
That'll kill the night.
I don't know, steel. Doesn't
Although we got
matter.
good stuff, man.
It
Cash
doesn't
in.
matter.
Some briefs.
And one of my techs,
And one of your techs who can make metal things.
You go find
like a
Because
machinist.
we make trades like madman.
He needs to
Just
be able to
done,
make the head of a
done,
Did you get
hammer
No,
and a
all
pole.
On a pole?
Who knew that little power boys
Like
could
an
pack away?
armor?
Fucking look.
No, like
He describes what appears to be some sort of Warhammer-esque object.
Can I default that and just do it?
A machinist? Yeah, you can give me a machinist.
I do machinist. I go over to the lathes.
and it has a special little.
So I did by 14.
The staff is hollow and special, and it needs to have a little tube in it.
14. I hand
How
it
is
to
the
you.
staff special other than
It's
Well,
hollow.
see, it's designed so that it has. You see that one, right? The top has little for lightning bolts coming out,
okay?
and it
I've seen that
connects.
hammer before.
See, we have the little canister where we can screw in some quintessence in the bottom for the lightning bolt.
Okay.
To a person, what will
I'm glad you understood what that was.
Yeah.
14.
Since
I
it
did
was
by
so
14.
specific.
Oh yeah.
I think
easily.
Ben was the only one who
I
said
had
he
it to
didn't
him
like
after a
that
couple
show.
hours.
With your thumb tech, it's clear that it looks
So,
like he
what?
wants at some point in time to shoot
No,
lightning
I-
bolts through here,
Hit or
and
miss. I've seen a few. Here
I
and
roll
there.
my eyes and hand it off.
So you mean
to
like the
him.
stabs where the
Yep.
little things popped out? Oh.
otherwise, I'm assuming you just constructed out of steel.
Yeah, I don't use anything
Fine.
stupidly fancy.
Find lead. Here's your lead pipe.
It bends under the sun. You're going to want to hold that near the head.
I made a gravity hammer, guys, but I flattened it.
It's for electricity fighting style.
All right. So he can make that probably within the first couple hours of that day. It doesn't significantly detract from Steve's.
So,
Awesome.
do I need to
Super
make
metal worker.
any
Lay
kind
it
of
away.
special
Yeah.
role for, like, how the parts line up or something? I think I had to do that before.
You can give me
Roll my eyes at the
either a perception-based
What the hell's going on
machinist
here?
or a perception-based
Take
thumb
hammer
tech
a
at
bunch
2.
of nails into it. Oh no, I'm trying not
Can I
to
put a
hurt you.
point?
Sorry.
You learned that from B, yeah.
Well, just from
Not
all
a finer
the
moment,
stuff
Steve. I
I've done.
recognize
You've
that.
been building shit that's a lot very close to thumb
It
tech.
does. 6 and 9
So,
too.
I think thumb tech's very hard,
I believe it.
Oh,
Contact.
but that's how you make your Chitty Chitty Bang Bang card with thumb tech.
Yeah, yeah.
Tech very hard.
-3, so that would be
Very
very
hard.
hard.
Wouldn't it be alchemy since it's running off of flubber?
Yeah, but there's mechanisms and winches and other things that go into the system.
Winches.
Is it IQ?
Yeah, it's IQ. Sometimes I ask for perception.
I thought that flubber just made it happen.
IQ and percent.
So we still need to find Lana or Nala or whatever. He's probably in the place where we don't want to go.
Well,
perception based on
Professor had
16
found, was
Is that
able to
plus-
read the
is that
language,
plus
so
two
he could
for thumb?
actually determine.
Is that a
There's
plus
3
two?
locations.
Yep.
2 we didn't
Machinist,
want to go to.
perception based,
so he
or a
said the other
thumb
one.
plus 2
But
perception.
we
That's
could
the one in Peru.
we should know
So
for
I'm
sure because this whole
15.
time the professor's been
So
spending
that's,
his time to research to actually nail it
so
down for
pass the
certain.
6.
By 6? No, you think you can
So
get
we still got
a
the
fairly easy
thorns
system
from
where
the
you
crown with-
can hook that up
Yeah,
and
but
have
we
it
have
channel
to-
lightning
We
correct.
have to
on
get
it.
through the
And the
creature,
gravity
the flying
stuff.
polyps.
So I
Right.
want it to be able to pull like
He
on
said
impact.
that we could probably walk
so it,
in there
makes it
unscathed for the most part, as long
Yep.
as we're not
and
really
then create a
threatening
zero G
creatures.
field in front of
Right.
it to push them away.
When we got all those,
What are their
So it's like
primary
hitting them and creating a zero G
strengths?
field so the impact propels them away.
we've got those guns from the.
It could, but unless you make
aliens.
that field pretty large,
Yeah,
it
those
would
the
only be
lightning
like an
bolt
extra
guns that they
meter or
use,
so.
It's
Do you
magic.
have a
And
means
I
of
just
making
feel like
lightning?
whatever it touches,
Yeah.
it sticks on.
Okay.
You could try to do
What's
that,
that default on?
but that would be the engineering
be the
for it.
Dark
You'd actually have
Emperor
to
too.
start to enchant it
Yeah.
or build this with pure thom tech.
You?
I'm planning
can't
on
make lightning.
enchanting it.
Okay, so you think you have a base to work with here?
Okay, start
I
enchanting.
can create.
Okay,
create
what do you want to start first
millimeter
on?
openings and solid objects.
First on
and
the
I
actual
can
gravity hammer thing,
hammer their primal energy.
not the lightning bolt staff.
So you can give me a gravity ripple. You want it to
That gives me an
temporarily
idea
put something in a zero G field once it comes into contact.
Let's start with the it pulls stuff in, or it creates a heavy gravity field which will pull the hammer into the target.
we could come up
Okay.
with a spell.
What's that?
But
How heavy do
Primal
you want it
Blast
to
is
pull? And is it
hard,
when it
isn't it,
only
or average?
swings, or does it happen all the time?
How heavy is the hammerhead?
Well, it's a steel hammerhead.
Average.
I'm assuming the size of
It's tempting right there.
a war hammer, so probably close to about 8 pounds, even with the hollow.
8 pounds. Right. So how about times 4 gravity? Times 4 gravity.
I don't know. I'm
Times
not
4
there.
gravity.
Okay. And is it on all the time, or
What's the
only when
same
it's
distance
swung?
as
The head of the
Steel
hammer
hammer.
depresses and activates it.
Okay.
Okay. So gravity.
So it's a bitch when it swings and hits the side of your leg.
yep.
I left a mark.
Pass by 1.
All right.
Actually, I have
You could use a more stable effect to work on, but you
one
got
offensive spell.
Doing it again.
We got Jinx and Disintegration.
There you go.
Fail by.
I thought you said you had lightning bolt.
Fail by 1.
Okay.
eh.
Then another hour there.
Yep.
If I want to fry it, I just
Seven,
disintegrate
pass by
it.
6.
I'm like, what's
Yeah,
the
that's
point?
a stable effect. You can go with the prime
You
weave
need
after
something to
that.
affect spirits. You don't have an offensive spirit thing.
Wow.
It's
I got
supposed
gas
fail
Galder,
by 1.
and I got Spirit Force.
No progress the first day.
What's spirit force?
Hurt.
I'm glad you brought that here.
9. Pass by
I
2.
didn't want to leave it where I was at.
You're making mild progress.
Gas Galder
Part of
sort
it's
like a-
unfamiliarity.
Pretty much
So
bitch
it
you guys
plays
with the
left.
spirits. They're like,
Two
nah,
rolls.
it's like a
Okay.
repelling.
Okay.
It's like off.
6.
Okay.
That's what got me
Pass
attacked.
by 5.
Just by 5.
Well,
Your
this is
spirit
gravity
what's that
ripple
word?
again,
No,
so I
Spirit
have
force?
familiar
Yep, it's
with
just a
Is that
different
like you blast 'em or something?
application of it, and it's easier than if you tried to make like a lightning bolt.
Which one is
Okay.
it?
So that was a pass by 5.
Yep, it's coming along.
Okay.
I can
Last
do one.
day.
Spirit Force, I think, is an offensive one for spirits.
Pass by 2.
But the other
2.
one is Make Manifest. I can
It's coming
manifest
along. If
spirits
you had
into
another
the rest
week, you
of
think you
physical
could get it
realm.
Oh,
done.
and then you hit him with
Really? Another
So
week.
I haven't got
Disintegrate.
that one yet.
Well-
but I'm pretty sure.
Magic's a fickle thing, so you might finish it in a couple
gotta double
days.
check on
It
that.
might take another 4 or 5 days.
Well, we have 2 weeks, right?
in theory.
Yep, I'm just saying that this is the end of that week.
Yeah.
Well, I will let someone else go then. It's end of week.
So either you two.
I got a question.
Yep.
Spirit Force is what again?
Spirit Force allows you to pull in spirit particles into an object or your person, and then you interact with the spirit more directly. You could either grapple a ghost or punch a demon a
And
little
Make
bit more
Manifest would
effectively.
pretty much make the spirit into corporeal form for the most
It would
part.
force it into this realm more tangibly, so you might actually be able to shiv a ghost or...
You could shoot it with a gun, then, in theory.
In theory.
If you did it well enough.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to ask Casey. I'm going to get back to the chantry after everything's all healed up.
And the cats would be able to teach you a average... in the future, I'll get the list to you, but they could teach you an average spell called Shake It Off to turn lethal damage into blunt trauma in the future. So you still have the damage, it's just blunt trauma heals much more quickly. It's like bruised ribs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm going to talk to Casey at the chantry. If I can
Okay.
find him. I'm going to ask him one about fairy stabs.
2 things. You'd be heading to... You'd be from Kenya, where are you just heading north to Cairo? Oh, yeah. Okay, it's going to take a couple days from there.
Could I walk there through the Umbra faster?
In the Penumbra, yeah, potentially. You'd need a guide.
Scarlet.
Scarlet could do that.
How long would it take to walk through the Penumbra to Cairo?
She says she imagines quicker, but you can't gauge time like that there. If you get there 2 weeks later, she'll give you a shrug shoulders. It's another dimension.
Shallow walk, huh? Gives me points. I'm gonna need to learn how to shallow walk better anyway. I'll shallow walk through the penumbra to get to Cairo.
This is how Jeb spent his 2 weeks.
What? Bad boy.
He comes out looking like Robin Williams from Jumanji.
There you go.
He's like, ha!
He doesn't really talk English anymore.
Yeah, wait. Beat it by 6.
Okay. Going through the trek, at some point in time, can you give me a Gastergall there?
Ruh-roh.
No.
17.
Yep.
You know, luck that.
Can't luck it.
Cthulhu whammy. It's a special spirit that finds you.
Yep. Pretty much. How to use my luck just to get on the shallow walk.
You used it just before you made that roll? Nice.
How many of the sheds did you say?
Moving through the
50.
penumbra, there are creatures that I suppose would be
Right.
considered
And then
deadly
5
relative to
quarters.
Earth. I mean, there are those large spiders,
Yeah.
but for the most part,
then
provided
the-
you leave them alone.
the
But they are
thing to
spiders. They
yeah,
still feed
be
on
aware
things.
of is that
You'll come across strange
people
reflective
to
spirits,
burn
electricity
well
spirits that live
for
in
one
like
point
telephone
out
lines
will
that are here in the
convert
penumbra.
to 15
This looks a lot like
and then you'll get
normal
your-
realities because
So
it's
basically,
kind of
make a
slightly
will roll,
skewed.
and if you're successful,
And other various things like that. You've on occasion seen strange things where Scarlet hasn't liked to interact with it. And at one point in time, you had a somewhat violent reaction from a glass spirit. Ultimately, you're kind
other
of
thing is
somewhat
that,
kind of near it, and it was somewhat playful. And at some point in time,
people will be
you were
shooting
trying to
at
just
you.
get rid of it,
And
and then it became belligerent.
Fright checks
and
will be made.
you managed to make it
You're
away.
taking fire to
There's some
count
things
on
that
stand up
happened,
and
but otherwise, you
withering
think
yellow
that.
fire and return fire.
It's gone.
That would require a will check.
However, you can make
Fright
it
check.
into Cairo late the next night, so essentially a day and a half later.
Yep, that would be.
Can I
That's
get-
kind of the standard we always use. So
I'll try
it's
to
a good
get a hold
question,
of
but it's
Casey
a
at the
standard.
Chantry.
Okay.
You don't need to worry about power. or
This
anything
particular
like
week?
that. It's not gonna
Okay.
be magic. It's today's world. Today's.
Okay.
All right, I'll ask
limitations
him
on
about
reality.
fairy staffs. What kind of potential
You can believe that.
powers they would have if one was to obtain them.
Exactly.
He says
And
you'd really have to
basically,
narrow
I
that
told
down. A
PCs
fairy
that
staff.
you're on an
There's
airline
different type
flight
of
from
fae.
Buffalo, New York to
I'll let him know that I
Miami,
came
Florida.
across one with the name
And
from a
you
guy
can
named
decide-
Teacup that's in the Penumbra
So you're going from Buffalo to Florida.
station at a cave.
And you can decide if you're
Town in Africa.
that's your destination or.
The traders are pretty good about not passing on cursed items, so that's probably has that going for it. Based on
you could be living in Buffalo, going to Miami for.
based on your description,
Does that make sense?
The painless?
10% off.
Not bad.
based on your description,
What is it? Oh, you bought the whip?
Yeah,
it might be some sort of
you get
trickster
10%
fairy.
off
He said they can
Most
have
stuff,
wide
not food.
ranges of abilities, but he says they
you get 10% off.
you'd have to see it in
Just they're
person.
standing in
It could have all
promo.
sorts of bonus. What was it? It could have all sorts of
Enhancements.
things that it does.
3 of the
Alright.
white spears now.
And I think I recommend.
I let
at
him
least
know
having,
the,
like, a
the
14
trade off, what it would have been, and stuff like that to
Or,
see if,
Okay.
what the
yeah, like
potential. I
14
guess
hit
if he would have to
points.
see it, then. And then I will ask him about the credit card object I got from Teacup.
Okay.
See if he
How much
recognizes
does
it.
health cost?
He says that it appears to
Health
be
is a
some
10
sort
point.
of hypertech, but he's not sure
So I
what
think,
it is
I think
specifically.
They don't show him the
strength
gas
and
can
health are 10,
that's under
Dex is
pressure?
20,
I think
and
strength is
Oh.
5, actually.
No,
He
it's
seems to indicate that it releases
Dex is
a
20.
resupplying supply
And
of
then
hot
will
steam.
and
He says a
perception
fair
are
amount of
5.
it, a pressurized room worth.
And it just replenishes itself.
Yeah, he says over the course of the full day.
I don't.
He'd say if you
Yeah.
pull it out,
And the thing
it'd
is,
probably replenish
if Steve
itself
was
every other
available,
day.
Let's say we start at 1 o'clock. If he
And
came
then the
over
magic
at
coal.
noon, he could quick power
the
into his PC,
alchemical
especially if
coal.
you kind of got it roughed out.
I believe he said if you
then that would
draw
just make-
it
I mean, it's
on
pretty handy as
an
a
object, it
PCS.
makes the wood temporarily
Unless you like,
passable.
count a lot of
Now,
numbers
is there
off.
one that would also make it temporarily passable if you push stone?
Okay.
You imagine so.
It's
yeah.
not the end of the world, like I say. You could ask Steve if he can come over.
How long is temporary? Minutes?
There'll be plenty of
He
PCs.
would say somewhere within the realm of
when you get
minutes.
there, you know.
He said if he used a lot of it, it might make it for several hours.
Do you have the books on it all? Or?
On my computer.
Okay.
Okay.
He's got hard copies.
All right.
To borrow them, so.
Thanks, Case. If you could find anything that could go through stone, like the magic,
So I'd give you mine, but I don't have them with me. So
I'd appreciate it.
I'll just let it
Or anything else that would help
cards
power
while
stones?
borrowing them.
Those, I guess those would be in hot demand for you
What's
anyway.
this? Something about borrowing what?
since his computer is down, he's talking about making a game character for.
Is there any good word
my game if we play this?
out on any of the fronts?
This weekend.
Yep.
From what he understands, I mean, there's a project to get a transatlantic gate running. For the most part, the Great Isles have been cut off mystically. It is still possible to go there, but there's a very high likelihood of interception via spatial means.
Oh.
There's been a storm. He'll tell you for the last 2 weeks there's been a storm that hasn't stopped in Great Britain. It's been destroying a lot of farmland crop, which is the remaining supply of food in the area. I mean, fishing has already stopped some time ago.
It'd be sad to be a fisherman. I'm going out to contest with the deep ones for my fish.
And my government has killed the ocean.
Is there a way to obtain another premiere night?
So I'm going to go contest with
It's definitely possible.
dead fish.
He does know that there is a
Tesla rifle.
there is a
charge.
clan operating in. He's aware of a clan that's operating in
edible,
Brooklyn.
right?
Or even a knife that will deal
They are.
that work against
cannibalism.
spirits.
Yeah, he can find something like that fairly quick.
Okay, I
Well,
appreciate
the
it. I'm
hybrids
gonna go
are
meet
half
with who's in charge of the chantry here. Larson.
Larson isn't. Yeah, it's kind of the go-to guy. He's not actually in charge. He's just kind of the PR guy.
Okay, I'll go to Larson after I meet with Casey, and
Okay.
I mean, whenever you can find that information, I appreciate it.
All right.
And then with Larson, I'll ask him what kind of new discoveries they came up
You
with.
can see. It does seem like there's a lot of morale issues happening within the chantry as of late. You haven't been there for close to 2 weeks, but apparently things are still stressed.
The shit's getting real. People are feeling it. There's a lot of PSTD going around.
I'll try to be a little bit more. All right, folks,
PTSD.
we're in the house. It's okay. Make through. Hunter's somewhere around here. Keep on walking.
To be honest with you, most folk don't know who you are.
That's all right.
Haven't you picked up by now? I've been pretty humbled in the chantry by Ian, so I don't even ask him. I'm just the little mouse.
You don't know who we are? We're the one who causes half the problems in this place. We're going that way.
Everyone walks the other way.
So I'll try to find my way to Larson.
You can get into contact with Larson.
All right, I'll ask him if there's any new, what kind of new discoveries they found out on the Muse Stone.
I can tell you that they actually think that it had multiple layers. The layer on the outside is, it was a multiple layer thing, like an onion.
Oh.
But it's calcified into one block, so all you can see is the outer layer.
He would mention that.
What is it?
It seems as though initially they have
The Muse Stone.
The stone is made out of a nearly indestructible stone, and they believe that probably a good chunk of the language on one section was heated to a very high temperature, enough to, probably vaporize quartz at an insanely high amount of heat. It seems as though, however, this object being nearly indestructible survived it, and it seems as though they think there are other sigils that have survived farther into the object, as though it was rolled out at some point in time, or at least had been enchanted to allow that to happen. But they're still taking. It's the only fucking thing that exists, so they can't really just take a chisel and be like, "Fuck it, let's open this bitch
They
up."
just have a copy, though, right? They have the copy and I have the original still.
I think you left them with the original.
Yeah.
Is it this?
They gave
pretty
you
sure.
they gave you a
They
copy.
gave me the copy. All right.
Because their people have been working on their significance to the impressions in this object, and it's
Right.
difficult to make a perfect copy.
Right. That's why we gave them the original.
So what? I'll ask them what new sigils that they've deciphered.
So, in addition, prior, they had mentioned the change rune. Grow, attune, lift, persist, suspend. That
Wait.
is it at the moment.
I'm waiting for Jeb to tell us that his name is a killing word. Yeah, you just say Jeb. Jib.
He'll tell you a few more. I haven't
Okay.
updated the list as of recently.
And what are the success on those so far?
Pretty decent. They believe that grow has an effect on life. They are a little bit worried they had to destroy the first thing they used it on because they couldn't stop it from growing.
Suddenly Eric's
They'll
excited.
eventually figure out the other counter run of that.
Let's put it on an
Momentarily, he was
tree.
excited.
What
Then
could
he
go
said,
wrong?
"You couldn't stop it from growing."
Attune seems to have a significance on the resonance of
Did you ever see the
objects.
South Park where the
Lift
Guy
seems
found
to
out
be.
the marijuana store was opening in town.
They wouldn't
Guy
say that
happened
it's
to see us,
necessarily
said,
anti-gravity. It appears to lift an
Springsteen
object
phones,
regardless of gravity or
And then
force.
everybody wants to smoke marijuana. So all the guys in town got
Suspend.
Oh my god.
Suspend appears to lock something in a temporal stasis. Is the best way to describe it.
Those are all symbol based, right?
He says all these are mu
I
sigils.
saw it. It was one of those medical horror,
Can,
not horror, but
Teach me a tune
bad
and
thing
suspend,
happens to the person or whatever.
or somebody.
Excuse me.
There's a
Persist
guy,
was
yeah.
temp. No, was it persist was
Some
temporal?
kind of
So was
it wasn't an
suspend. So
abscess,
persist
it was some
and
kind of fluid
suspend.
thing started to build
So
up
what's
in his
persistent?
scrotum. And
Persist is
Did he-
another
is this the guy that
temporal
wore the
effect.
hoodie on his scrotum?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just it was sad.
It
I mean,
was
the
sad.
guy was like, it's like
Yeah,
this is
the
250.
yeah, it was
Yep.
ridiculous.
Right. And he's like getting in the van,
persist
he falls
seems
over and almost
to-
kills himself. You know. Ugh.
Suspend.
You got it fixed though.
Oh,
I need to get the description.
So they found someone who could actually, hey, let's just cut it off.
Yeah, he went into the surgery. I can't remember
Persist would be the
exactly what
temporal
they did, but
stasis.
They fixed him.
Suspend.
Okay.
So I mean, he was still a very large man, but at least he
Well, he didn't have 200
Is it
pounds
any of the
hanging between his
spells that you
legs.
sent us?
Can't remember. Let me double check. I'll get back to you.
He walked out from behind the screen, and he was still
Right.
walking.
It's creating a firestorm between the corduroy pants.
Spontaneous combustion. It was a sad thing. You're right.
It was very sad. He was ingenious, though. If I knew he's for a hoodie, I would have never thought.
I'd probably say instead of suspend, they have shroud.
Shroud.
Yep.
Are you sure they don't have hexproof?
And that one protects from what?
Instead of suspend, they have shroud.
Hush
No,
you.
make it hexproof.
Shroud
They have exile.
eliminates resonance leaks and other ways of divining an object.
I don't know what kind of game you're playing.
Aren't
How
those
long will it
things
take to learn
calibrated?
shroud? Tim?
Can we use that word without paying
Each, I want to say, are very hard, or it might be.
Next card game, you're just like, you can't see that one.
Were the other sigils very hard?
I got a hard and a hard and a very hard. And then I got a doctor's note saying anything lasting over 4 hours, call him back again.
Again.
There you go.
What the hell is it?
Go ahead.
Persist would be very. What was the two that he had? Tune.
Tune.
So very hard, and then hard would be shroud.
Okay, I want to just learn shroud then.
Okay, that could be done within the week.
Okay, then that's what I'll do during the week. Wait on Casey's return.
You'll have a couple other days if you wanted to do something as well.
I'll try inside their what do you call it? The comfort zones. I'll work on deflect prime,
Okay.
and I will also work on primal bath and infusion. I'll work on all my primals if that's possible. So infusion, bath, defensive stance.
Right. Well,
Whatever.
defensive stance would be the easiest to could be learned in the time period.
Okay.
The other ones would require more days.
So deflect prime and
Deflect prime. What level do you have it right now? I think
it's average, but it's I have 2 points into it.
2 points. It would take longer to. It would take 4 days to learn anything more than that.
Okay. So stance I can do.
Yep. Stance could be brought up from. Is it a? What is it?
It's easy.
How many points do you have in it?
1.
One. Yeah, that could be brought up in a day.
So and then I can learn you shroud.
Yep. Otherwise, the Dustinator.
After I get done training with my last magical
Figure
thing,
shroud
Mental Ward, I'll
would
see if I
work for
can
us.
track down Larson and get an audience with him.
Yep. You had done that just a week prior, I believe.
Yep. And that's when I told him about Lana and
Okay.
the thorns from the crown, things of that nature. We had a conversation, went off, did stuff, but now I want to come and talk to him again.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. It
Is he
doesn't take you too
available?
long. Sometimes you have to
Okay.
wait a couple hours, but he has been back inside of the site.
Can we go around the corner? Because I don't want to share with
He can
the
take you
PCs.
into his office.
Lock it down.
Dusty really needs to go around the corner with you, though.
Okay.
So we can touch our tongues together, make it official, you know?
You gotta make it official. Anybody want to throw a game magic?
Yep.
Yeah, you say that now.
Last time, didn't you guys take 45 minutes? Quick decks.
Sure.
Okay, you playing, Chris?
There's no such thing as quick decks with us.
You kidding?
No, I'm not. Because if I get in the middle of the game, I'll probably stick it. I'm up to 4 muse sigils then.
So are the Muse Sigils better than Magic?
They are magic.
What does the rare Minotaur give all the other Minotaurs?
I think it's +1/+1 in haste.
An haste? Because the other one gives an haste.
No, it's gotta be
Is it first strike?
trample. I betcha.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, right here.
I'll be number 2 on the
You said.
what do you call it? Number.
I've got a B.
I have a B.
B-O.
BD.
Double B? Oh, alright. I guess it's you, buddy.
We start putting points on that bad boy now.
I'm gonna go down to 6.
I'm a happy camper.
You got 1 more week, right?
I don't care.
I'm going down to 6. What are you doing on your last week then? Just learning?
I just spend time and hope for the best.
I'm making a hammer. I'm, ready for the adventure. Short of commissioning more watches to be made. Did you want to watch
Before.
Fly.
Fly using?
Is everybody gonna fly?
If we all had watches, sure.
It'd probably be easier to get up and down to locations instead of climbing.
Yeah, I have 2 of them right now. And if you use them enough, you could use them in combat, was my idea. Because
The longer you shuffle, the less we get to play.
you have a point.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh my god. Okay.
I gotta make up for my Tremere knife being
Your turn.
destroyed.
Your turn.
+1/+1 silver.
Dragon. Done.
+1/+1 sliver.
Oh, that's ugly.
Your turn.
Haste Minotaur. Attacks for 4.
4.
Uh-huh.
I take 4.
Your turn.
Hunting for a white, and haven't played one yet, so
Can you actually use it or not yet?
I haven't played one yet, so it goes in hand, but
Right, but I'm just saying, can you do anything or can I take my turn?
I might actually be able to do something. Let me see if I have. Oh no, I don't have that guy. So
That was 0-1.
I'm going to hit you for 6.
I got a 14. Check you for 2. I put a 3/3 Minotaur into play. I'm done. Three.
Went to Renfest on Sunday.
It was still open in October?
It was this past weekend.
This last weekend. It was last weekend?
The 29th.
What's your
was the last
strongest guy?
3/3.
weekend. Sunday was the 29th. So yeah.
Okay.
Steel form sliver. They all get +0/+1. So
it's
they're
just
all
enough.
3/4s.
Yep.
Coming at you for 6.
I take it.
Actually, he's a 4/5.
But you didn't attack, right?
No.
A death touch.
But you're not
2/3.
enchanting him, are you?
No. Then I attack with a 2/2 and a 3/3.
2/2 and a 3/3.
Yep.
I'm going to kill the 3/3.
Take 2.
Down to 12. So I should just do
How much did you just attack me for?
I hit you for 6.
I should be at 6 then.
I think
Your turn.
you should be at 8.
Sure, whatever.
Unless I hit you the first turn, did I?
You hit me once before.
Okay, maybe you are at 6 then.
I'll be at 6.
Pop that up.
Death touch 2301.
Hive stirrings. I'm going to put 2 tokens on the field. 1/1 slivers. So they're actually 3 4s.
Okay.
And I'm done.
Play land. Cast Soul Conduit.
What's it do?
For 6 mana, 2 players exchange life totals.
We're exchanging.
No, I have to use 6 to actually do it.
Done?
Done.
What's your life total?
6.
Is that an enchantment?
It's an artifact.
I'm busting it and gaining 4 life.
Alright. Wah, wah, wah.
And these 2 are attacking. They're 3 4s.
I block 1 and go to 3. Whip of Erebos. I get lifelink.
And no slip.
And for 4, I can do other things.
Yeah.
I'll be done.
Going to destroy that artifact and gain 4 life.
Okay.
Back up to 20.
You give me an observation.
In Braxton.
Barton?
And what's your life total?
3.
Barton. Is it the
You have
back
3
suit?
creatures.
Yeah.
Got the back suit.
You got it.
Perception, visual, just a straight
Timing.
Observation. I would say, in general, sometimes it's hearing, sometimes it's not.
Don't panic. There's a 1 on there. Besides those 2 6s. Observations can also be by 2,
By 2?
unless it's visual. Then it'd be 4.
Okay. It's hard to say. Maybe you're being paranoid. For the last few days, you thought something might have been following you, but you never got eyes on.
I'm fairly
You tried to
paranoid, yeah.
set like a counter
Yeah.
situation where they would have to reveal themselves, and it's never happened.
Son of a bitch.
So maybe it's just your nerves.
Try to pull everybody together.
I mean, if anyone was following you, it'd have to be supernatural because you teleport, you go to the chantry.
Try to pull everybody together into the chantry.
Okay.
Because that's a safe place. It's a place where I feel
What
comfortable.
are you doing?
I contact B with my ring. B. Can you peel yourself away and come down the chantry for 6 hours?
Sure.
What day is this?
Can you bring back soon with you?
Who?
Burton?
I can bring Barton, but I can't
Brad?
bring Burton.
Okay.
What day is he on?
And if it has to go later into the week, that's fine.
Yep.
You know?
I would say this is probably after you'd finished the machine shopping on the gravity hammer, but you haven't actually started the enchantment process yet.
Aren't you on your second week?
I'm on my third week.
Everybody's
Just like you're on your third week.
Okay,
I'm just
then
the
never
last,
mind. I haven't done it
I'm just
yet.
the last one on my third.
So what day in the third week are you?
say the last.
The last day?
I'll probably say 2 days in.
2 days.
Okay.
Okay. It's in the early part.
I
Can I get a hold of you, or are you?
You can talk to
I'm there.
people,
I'm
and
ready
that
to
won't
chat.
significantly detract you. But
So I'll
if
see if
it's
you
like
have time.
they
I'd
want
like
to
to
drive
pull
to
a group
Australia or
together.
something.
We need to talk.
Well, it's 2 days to try to finish.
Alright.
Do we get everybody together?
I'm back.
I'm
Well,
there.
The team. We're
Can
out.
we
The
finish
Bat
our?
Cave.
Can we do our 2 days,
Huh?
please?
We'll get back to work
We
as
can
soon
get
as
back
we
to
get
it. I just want to have a meeting. Are you here for
Well,
the meeting?
we have 2 days before this.
God damn it! I
meeting.
just want to talk to you. and You're arguing with me already.
Now, you guys are trying to meet him at the Chantry.
Right.
Unless
Yeah.
you're opening
I'm
the
already
Temple
there.
League, we're not arguing.
So, B, you were heading to the Chantry, correct?
Sure.
You'd
Sure.
find out, what is it, you end up gaining access to the Chantry in the Massachusetts Boston Chantry entry point. You'd find out that apparently there had been a recent massacre. It's called the, what the hell is it, the King of Ireland Massacre. Apparently 50 policemen stormed a, 44 King's Palace Road, a location that the Crimson Gang supposedly was held up in, and apparently they'd set up booby traps with axe blades and scythes and
Sock
exploding flechette, other things of that nature. They're still on the lookout for the head gang member. Security's fairly tightened up. Looks like all police officers are armed pretty much in kind of full gear, so to speak, for the time period.
Tommy guns for everybody.
You know,
So was it a massacre because the police got massacred, or because the police went in and killed all the gangsters?
that's all you hear passively. You'd have to inquire more about it specifically.
You don't know.
Otherwise, there's road blockades and other things like that all
Massacre
across
it
the
is.
city.
I'm happy with it. I take that information and shelve it away.
Okay.
I got 2 more weeks to do. All right, so we get everybody together. So I just wanted to let you guys know last week when I was going down to Georgia, was on a train, and Mrs. Eckhart showed up on the train. She had a little conversation with me. She's pushing pretty hard on her offer that she gave to Browning. And actually an idea is formed in my head because of Barton over here and his grand plan to get Frank is pull all the allies. A couple of things I confirmed is that she is the one who stole the Star Spawn. She stole it. I mean, we suspected it, but she confirmed it. I asked her what she did with it. She said
Saving it.
it's working for her. Working for her. This is all stuff I've told Larson as well. And
You told him first?
so, I did tell him first. So the other thing that Larson said, she's also started a cult now over there. Now she's protecting people up in Scotland. Obviously consolidating her power base. He doesn't really know what's going on. He suspects her maybe doing other things as well. And the thought that he put in my head, seeing as how she wants me so bad. No, she's given she also wants the professor very bad too. So it's the other thing to keep in mind. If the professor goes down, then the demon's going to come take his body, bring him back, and he'll get the demon treatment whether he wants it or not. So my thought was of going in and submitting to that to basically get a man inside her house. Now, I'd only consider that if, again, the benefit is with the group, so we can still work together, we can still, and again, I'm only, whenever we meet, I can submit to your tests, take my clothes off, you cast your spells on me. Did you catch that bird? And I take my clothes off, makes me defenseless, you can catch
Say
your
who's
spells on
bird?
me. Exactly, you.
I
So-
think it's a horrible idea.
I second that.
It is a horrible idea.
I don't
But
think
otherwise,
we should
we're
do it.
never going to know what's going on.
Have fun with the demon tongue down your throat.
I don't. You are a valuable asset.
She's going to do her thing, and she's going to leave me free, because, again, she's very arrogant, so she thinks that she can and she can, just kill me whenever she wants.
Yeah. She could kill any of us anytime she wants.
Exactly. So, the only thing I see is now if someone's on the inside...
You're not
gets
gonna be on
You're
the
never
inside.
going to be truly on the inside. She's going to know your thoughts. You can't protect that. You're not going to have free will.
I agree
She's
with
not
that.
going to be omniscient.
She was probably a little sad about Browning's thoughts. I mean,
She's to a level where we can't interfere with her plans anyway. So knowing them,
No, it's just more or less
you'll
how
never be a
she's
part
gonna
of
do it.
her inner circle. It ain't gonna work. It's a horrible idea.
Make her
And
watch.
I never said it'd be part of the inner circle. It'd be,
I would
do we
make-
get a sniff of things in the wind prior to them occurring?
I'd make her want you more.
Okay.
The more times you say no, it's going to be forbidden fruit that she's going to
Four
want.
of these.
Okay. Then we should seriously consider not having Browning around. He is a leak.
disagree.
Everywhere we go, Browning's
Do you
taking
agree or disagree?
Browning's,
I agree with you.
Browning's taking information back to her, which we don't know. Unbeknownst to us, right? Well, whether it's
Probably
willing-
unbeknownst to him, too, if he's got a creature following him around. And
willingly or not, we don't know. But for sure, stuff's going back to her, right?
Yep. I say we smoke Brownie or disinvite him.
So, again, the only reason I'm proposing this is because I'm at least willing to work with you guys on the front side if we set it up to put basically be a mole in her organization.
the cost is too great, not only to us, but also to the champion.
Not really. I've talked to Larson. He said if I want to do it, he'd support it.
I'm going to be honest, if she can control a star spawn,
You got no hope.
Yeah.
if you think you can try to shield any type of deceit to her,
She's very powerful, but she's not all powerful.
I know, but
Right.
she's
Yeah. And again, the thing that I'm counting on, because I agree with you, there's a lot of ifs here, but the thing I'm counting on is that her.
if there was no ifs, then I would say yes.
Well, there's always ifs. There's going to be ifs in everything we do here.
Exactly.
You caught on yet? I mean,
Exactly.
we're fighting a war here.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, but the ifs are too great.
Okay. All right.
I vote no.
Okay.
If there's a vote, I vote no, but
But
Okay.
if you,
I mean, I'm not going to do it if we're not going to be able to work together. And if you guys think that the risks are too great, I disagree with you. I think that are there risks? Absolutely.
I feel like you're saying that her ego's pretty big. Look who's talking.
What I'm saying is I'm willing to put myself into.
In my mind, you have your fucking flying device on. You're like, look, whose ego's pretty big. Baron Harkonnen.
Baron Harkonnen, exactly. What I'm willing to do is potentially sacrifice myself for the betterment of the group, so that we get some additional information on someone again that we're saying is an ally that we really don't know what's going on inside.
I'm not seeing it.
Okay. It's a standing offer, just so you know, if I do die or if the professor dies, Sykes is taking us.
Taking
don't-
you.
Yeah. He's
And doing what?
He's tasked to recover our bodies and bring it back to the missus.
Is there anything we can do to mess with that, like at the Chantry?
yeah, not let him die.
Yeah? Not
Well,
have
no,
me die and not have
But
Sykes.
isn't there a ward we could put on you so we can't touch you?
Potentially, we could look into it, but I have no idea what the cost would be associated with that. And honestly, I doubt that that's practical.
He's what is it? Very difficult to detect. However, apparently Browning, and you've seen at least one other individual
Spot him.
spot him. So there must be just a way that you're not aware of that.
Could we put them over my containment vessel and just put them in another dimension, lock them away?
It's not going to matter. She'll just make another one.
Just make a code of holy shit. He burns. Remember?
See, this is the
You
problem.
reduce the tears down to an oil and coat them up every day.
This is the problem I see is that we don't have any way to cleanly divorce ourselves from us. We don't like her. We don't want to get into her. The fact is, we're already into her for something, right?
Okay.
And she's going to keep working with us. And the fact is, we just don't know what's going on at all.
Speaking
Have
of
you talked
dancing
to
of the
Angus?
devil, you guys haven't talked to your Deep One contact a lot recently.
There's a reason
Yeah, I know.
for that.
Well, we should. He's not on their side. He's on his side.
You know, that's not a bad thing. We could talk to
Who
them.
do you think sent the bomb to stop the, heaving asleep to sleep? It wasn't.
But he
what?
framed us. That was nice of him.
Well, of course he did. He didn't want to get framed for the thing. He's like, geez, if they find this out, I'm dead. I'm not even dead. It's worse than
He
dead.
started the war. He was a
Have you talked to Angus?
He didn't
You
start
might
the
have
war.
Father
He did
Jonas
start
in your
the
Rolodex.
That's the other thing. The other reason that I would be willing to do is Angus has saved my life at least multiple times. And I feel I do owe the guy a little bit because he's in the bed he's in.
So the owing of him is to screw his wife.
What's that?
So the owing of him is to...
No, to try to protect him. Now, I have a feeling that she's...
He's
got-
currently working for MI5.
Right.
So you guys can get fist deep into Blue Hades if you
I
want.
think
so-
having one demon worshiper in the group is one too many. Having two in it, I'll probably walk away and
As far
I'll
as-
send a representative from my corporation to take my place.
Jack.
Okay. As far as I know, there'd be no worship required. It would just be I get to have my essence blended with that of a demon.
Right.
So again, if you guys are, that's why I'm asking you guys if. But otherwise, we do have a problem. Right?
I think that Jack would have a gold. Was it a deep one gold doubloon number that he's thinking about? Like, I'm not working with Blue Hades. And there's another coin. Okay, that's enough for.
Now the other thing is, she said that she has the means to take down Mormon. Part of it she's already delivered to us. The weapon would be the blood.
I think
on
right
the
now, I think
thorns.
Mormo's the least of our also.
But if we can start wrapping these things up,
Marmo's just contained for the moment, right? What's
Yep.
going to happen when the next power surge happens? That thing fails. Guess what? New York's is gone.
yeah.
So that's just a temporary system, and it's not even all that great. Does she get cultists?
Why is she amassing such a huge army and following them?
There's a node in a
She's
small one,
building
too.
her power, and right now she's saying so that she can better protect her family, and she is saying
From
she
what?
wants to stop the end of the world. So she recognizes that the elder gods are returning, and she wants to see that stopped. And she's amassing her power to be able to do that and protect her family in the meantime. And she's deemed myself and the professor essential war material for her efforts. So the question is, at some point in time, I'm going to get sucked into that, because I will die. Christ, just about every time I go out there, you get to find out what new body part I don't get to play with anymore.
That was a turning point for the game when you guys came into mystical knowledge of how to repair damaged limbs.
That was
I'm
a
not just a hobo now with missing legs.
That was a big plus. Unfortunately, I didn't learn it in time for Jack.
I still remember the days where Steve was like, "Yeah, now I know how to get magical limbs back. Maybe somebody should tell Jack that." No, he's an old man. He'll die anyway. He'll die in a cold Brooklyn winter.
And now he looks like the youngest man in town because his quintessency has rejuvenated all his dermis.
He's got two powerful toes on each foot, which he can sleep upside down.
Exactly. So that's all I see is it's a way to try to get some inside information. So she's assured me that, and I think with Browning, I don't think that there's any active control there.
No. Browning is, an extension of her will.
Which would be no different than if she came in here
He
and
might
wanted to bend
honestly
you to
be
your
more
will,
of a
she'd just do it.
distraction.
You know what I mean? So it's got its risks, but I think
There's no upside. I just don't see it. Whatever. If you choose to do it, I appreciate you letting me know.
yeah. Well, I'm not going to do it unless everybody says it's fine, that we can still work together and be aware of it and
I wouldn't.
I
work
see
around
what he's talking
situations.
about, but I just can't go with it.
Okay. If it's too much a risk, then we won't do it. So now the question is, do we get the information about how to deal with Mormo before or after we kill Browning?
Oh, definitely before.
Okay, I would agree.
Ben's gonna hate
So
us.
is that the next
Oh
thing?
yeah.
Is that the next thing that we want to take care of then? Do we want to go try to seal up Mormo?
Yeah, let's go see out normal. That sounds like an interesting adventure, and it's not the plane of Leng, so we might come back.
Okay. She is willing to commit material to the fight. Soldiers, resources,
Awesome.
etc.
I like it.
Now here's the other hitch, is that she did tell me that there's resources to be found in the Red Hook district.
Like followers and Turks. And
All kinds of
Turks.
demon paraphernalia, I'm sure.
she wants it.
I would guess that's part of her plan is to recover it. So I think if we go into it and you're planning a double cross, then you might as well figure that use her to a point and then destroy the material so she doesn't get it. And then we kill Brahman. Thanks for helping us. Kapow!
Somewhere Ben is like watching this at work. Like, you're getting my other character back, right?
Those ass monkeys are gonna kill me, and I'm not there.
Well, that's the worst part is Ian's going to release this and we'll have a couple weeks before we play again or whatever. And then Ben's going to be all in the know and he's going to come in. I'm looking at you bastards.
I know who killed me. It's on the snowball.
It's my circle of trust.
You
And you're
died
not
of
in it.
natural causes, I'm telling you.
It was me leaning on the pillow.
You're not sure if half demons die of natural causes.
Pretty sure it involves a lot of magical primal blasts to the face.
Natural.
All right, let's get in contact with her and see how she has some plan for Mormon.
All right. I can teleport her there. She's got an open ticket to get into her city.
Sounds good. Coming with?
Guess you're not getting your week.
I look at.
Nope. Can I do my 2 days first? I mean,
I look at
I've had
Scarlet.
2 days before I came here.
There was the 2 days, but I think there was additional enchantment there you're doing.
Just so you know,
Yeah,
I don't
can
think you guys
make
can
the
stop
2 rolls
things.
on it because
He's more powerful than
you
any
said
of us.
it would take me.
So we should just give up.
a
Any
few
one
more
of you.
days.
Potentially.
Potentially.
It depends on what the PCs do.
Can't
If
use
you
the
want to
Can't-
work on
well,
that for the
you
next.
can. There's been
Well,
some
I had
instances
2
where
days
things have
before
snuck
this
into the
meeting.
chantry.
So
So I'm saying, can I make
Where's the
those
other
rolls?
you can.
I'm
make
just
those
saying that
rolls.
if it happens, it's probably after a fight, so people are going to be weakened.
So that's a pass by 2.
So
Two.
what I would say
Come
is
along.
that you guys walk away and
Because I
let
think
it
I
happen.
had like.
Yeah,
If you think you
12
can stop it, that's
successes.
great. Try to stop it. But just
And-
realize that
Well,
you've got a
yeah.
tank coming in. And she's designed to soak up all kinds of
So that's an
punishment.
11.
And so it's not just going to be,
That's
oh yeah, he's a
4.
9-foot guy, and I shot him with my rocket pistol. he's
4.
dead.
So pass by 7.
7. That is enough just in time to complete the project. So this would be tonight that this would happen. So the 4 times gravity
So we would
once
need to
the
wait 2 days for him.
kind of end piston kind of comes in, but there's no
Okay.
0 G field that
So you can have
attaches
his
to it.
hammer?
So I'll just leave it in the workshop. But I got the enchantment done. It won't unravel during our adventures. Does anyone want to watch? I feel like.
Do I have time to watch, or am I out playing with bacteria in my
No,
back
don't.
tanks?
Watch.
Oh,
Do you want to watch?
do you have an extra watch?
I made 2.
Yeah, I'll take the watch and learn how to fly. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'll be like, okay, so there's these cool little things when you pull this out.
How come
and-
this knob doesn't do anything?
It's just there for looks. Shut that off.
That's for future use.
Okay.
You can give me. Well,
That's for the 2.0 expansion.
It's a complex kind
That's
of
for like speed
what is it?
booster or something.
It's a complex
Or the-
device that's kind of the size of a watch here, but there's also finger attachments too. So essentially, using your hand and the knob, you can try to control
Comes
minor
with
gravity
minor-
fields around you.
Comes with minor shield.
So what kind of skill is required to run that?
Did you find anything else?
Free fall.
You're not sure
I
initially.
never took time to do
It looks
anything.
as though you control with a knob. You imagine in a bind, it might be pretty tricky to figure out which way you're falling,
Yeah.
how to control the
Are you
gravity.
kidding? Yeah.
Theoretically, if that got attacked, if somebody hit it
No,
right,
no. It looks like that once you pull it
Yeah,
out.
it doesn't look very. That looks very sturdy. You've got a death trap
I
on your
never saw
wrist.
what it
B.
looked like.
So
Very cool.
the finger one
For the people listening on
sheet.
YouTube, it's a picture.
It's a picture. It's a picture of a thing that looks like an egg beater,
Just
except you wear it on your wrist, and the beater parts are where your fingers
It
go.
is the beta Xbox controller
right. Oh my god.
that comes out of a watch.
Yep, I'm sure there's not a skill behind that. Besides dying.
no, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
So he's gonna get shot in the arm. It's gonna deflect off the watch. He's gonna just spin there like Baron Harkonnen and be like, "Somebody help me! Help me! Help me something!"
Awesome. It looks like the Power Glove from Nintendo.
All right. Well, I'm happy with it. I put it on. I play with it.
You mean IQ rolls?
So it looks like a normal watch until you pull out the little lever.
10.
It looks like
Made
a
it by
pretty
6.
nice watch too.
You definitely can get the controls of it. The only thing you worry about in a stressful situation,
Yeah.
it's going to be difficult for you to
It's a good
reorient
watch.
yourself
It goes
and make
with
sure
the
that
blaster
you don't
roll.
inadvertently spaz your hand off in a direction and use it. So there could be some minor wheel rolls involved, but otherwise probably some dex-based free fall to
Yeah,
reorient yourself.
dex-based free fall.
If you have 3D spatial sense, it might be helpful.
Oh yeah, I can buy that up.
You got that bad boy.
Just buy free fall.
Hopefully to learn 4D spatial sense.
It's not something I'm intending to use all the time, but if I'm falling, I'll have it on and pull the knobs out and.
So she died when
See
she
what I
fell
can
to the
do.
ground? No, she died
She
when
went
she
extra
ran into
fast.
She died when she ran into the cliff. Huh. Didn't see how it
Oh, and
goes.
I'll tell you, when it's
Nothing's
on,
going to kill her
be
because the little
careful
black spot will
shooting
suck her
things
off
out of
into
it
whatever
because it does have
dimension, so.
some like a
Force field.
kind of. It's just gravity that pushes outward in a thin layer.
Just a thing.
So, but that only engages once you pull it out.
Your character's looking a little bit like a steampunk Borg because you have that shielding device Riker gave you, a backpack unit, a field arm tool, and you
Pocket
got
watch.
pocket watch.
Yep.
This isn't a pocket watch.
No, I've got a pocket watch too.
Oh, so you're like, what's the time?
Most of the time, I don't have a watch. All right.
Throw that away, Trent.
Oh, there's a trash can over there.
The watch
You got
weighs
some?
now, I think, about half a pound.
Oh, got it right down.
There goes your weight.
Fly watch.
Don't open it up; it'll weigh 10.
Half pound. Fly watch.
Fly watch.
Okay.
Are you ready to go now?
Yep. Ready to go. I got my fly watch.
Okay. We'll go outside the chantry to find Browning.
Say you should probably test it out for 10 minutes first.
Ask him if you can tell Sykes that if he can pass along that we're going to be going to the dumb rocket sigil,
Okay.
just to pre-announce our arrival.
All right.
Does he need any time, or can we go now?
He'll convey the information. He says says it's easier to go through the Umbra rather than teleporting there because there's a chance of interception.
Okay. You guys want to go through the Umbra with Sykes?
So we walk through the Umbra, and that takes a couple days,
Potentially. Could be
but
more.
we don't get intercepted.
Right. There's a potential that we could get snagged out of it.
We're still going to get intercepted. Zykes will just deal with it.
No, we'd have to deal with it too, because it's not going to...
I'd like to see what Zykes looks like, see his capabilities.
You've already,
do it.
already seen what he looks like. Yeah.
See his capabilities then?
Sure. Sykes, can you lead us on a path through the Penumbra?
Browning will convey the information. Scarlet obviously does not like any fucking bit of this. She'll go away because she'll go with you because obviously you might be in danger, but yeah.
I look at her and I'm like, I don't want to do it more than.
It's a scouting mission, if nothing else.
What are you going there for?
Remember, she's got a plan for Mormon, right? So
We're just going there to meet her.
the plan is to go to meet her, see what her plan is to
wrong with
take
Earth?
out Mormon.
Sounds like a trap. It's a trap.
If she wanted you dead, you'd be dead now, so quit panicking.
No. She plays
So
like
I've got the thorns right here. We can go over there and see what her plan is. She said she had the plan to take care of Mormon. I thought that was the next thing to do.
I agree.
It'd be nice if it wasn't in our backyard, ready to pop. I mean, one of the benefits of Nepal is that, well, it's in Nepal. As much as it sucks for those people.
If we
it's
walk
over
into
there.
her,
She's never... Yeah.
yeah, she's never.
She's never.
Do you want me to call
Try
her by
to
her
see
true name and
agents.
see if she'll show up here? It's not going to matter. I mean,
We'll go.
So I'll go to Nepal? I'll go to Nepal.
No,
no. I'm saying I could.
We'll go. I'll follow.
I mean, either that or I'll teleport us. The risk is the deep ones snag us. They've got a block down on transpose magics. So she's kind of got a tunnel. They occasionally poach people that go through the tunnel.
Yeah. Browning would say that sounds like the gist of it.
We'll go. It's not going to be a fun visit.
Okay.
It's not for us.
Yeah.
It's going to be eggshells for us.
Browning says from what
It's
he
always
hears, Drum to
been.
Drock is actually pretty safe. So I think
it's
so. They got like their own kind of commune system up and running now since the
Yeah.
government's collapsing over there. And
Yeah. The people are very happy. They're getting 3 squares a day. They got roof over their head. No one's getting murdered by the deep ones.
he says through the Umbra. I mean, you're not technically teleporting, right?
Yeah, you're technically not.
Turn around and just walk off.
All right. Is Zykes going to open up a shower?
You coming
or-
with Browning? Will ask.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Um,
Thanks, Zykes. Appreciate this. Everybody should try to be polite still. I will tell you guys off to the side quietly.
Pretty polite. Miss Ericart has done a lot for us.
Yeah.
Granted, the path that she's going right now is probably not 100%. We are grateful she saved us. I'm grateful for her saving us.
Let's
She
just keep
killed me.
repeating we're grateful she saved us.
Yeah.
or something.
She's in gray areas right now.
Scarlet does freak out a little bit, but ultimately, as you're talking to Jeb, he seems to disappear.
Okay.
You can give me a fright check.
I guess this is how we get to the shallows. You get to... It's a trust fall into the demon's hands.
Any other pluses?
From what you have right now, but there's if you're wearing the earrings, there's that.
And the word pirate? That's just for memory based, right?
That's memory-based objects.
By 13.
Okay. Scarlet was vaguely aware of what was happening, but she still didn't like it happening. Ultimately, you're not sure how quite he did it. I mean, you might be able to replicate the effect, but it seems like he bypassed the penumbra and the umbra. Ultimately, you appear to be sitting in the low umbra. You can occasionally kind of see things off in the distance, but you're kind of near a desolate building right now. It looks like it's some sort of Denny's that have been destroyed, some sort of atomic blast.
So
Hundreds
instead
of
of
years.
walking from page to page, we just skip like 5 pages, and we're like, how the
You're
fuck do we
here,
get to 5
yeah.
pages?
It's kind of like what we did with Mrs. Urquhart.
Yes.
The same thing happens to you.
Okay. I try not to scream like a little girl. Shatters my whole image.
You seem to get indicator. Was it an indication from your ring that there's something nearby? And then there's kind of a pause, and it keeps detecting that there's something near you.
And then you're gone.
So far, no.
Oh.
All right. I ain't coming, I guess.
Hey, Jeb. Not in Kansas anymore.
Same thing. You disappear as well.
Poof.
You guys are currently. You guys can give me fright checks as well. You've been somewhat here before.
I did auto hypnosis by 8.
Okay. You get a +3.
So I got success by 16.
Success by 8.
You guys are both good. For the most part, you can see what I described before. It looks similar to the town you were in before, but it's obviously all shitified.
Yeah. It
There's
looks like what we're accustomed
kind of like
to.
a crimson sun here. What have you? You can see Sykes on the other side. It seems as though he disappears momentarily and then comes back. He's once again covered in head to toe in what appears to be ritualistically scarred tissue, obviously in the formation of runes. He says something which the PCs don't recognize, but Browning says that Sykes says that the other one has an object, a relic on her, that he doesn't want to break.
Can you take me back there so I can tell her about it? Or is there another means for her to come this way?
Sykes said he could just take her here.
But you'd break her relic.
He doesn't know. He says it's pretty strong.
Is there a way for her to turn the relic off?
He doesn't know what it is.
Okay.
You take-
I guess we're teleporting.
You guys will
first.
teleport back. It was not. You will teleport back with.
Before he I'm assuming I can see him coming over to grab
Yep.
me, right? I say, just a minute, Sykes, time off. I think we all come back and we take the teleportation. We can go via that method, right? We risk the poaching, right? You bring
Would
us all.
Shroud work against any type of... if we teleport, if we shrouded ourselves, would that work against any type of
Detection.
poaching?
I don't think they're hard.
You'd have to try to implement that somehow into your system. I mean, it's a rune. You might be able to shroud yourselves, but the tunnel itself would have to be
Could I
shrouded.
shroud over his teleport sigil that he draws out?
You're not sure.
Well, without regard, we need to go back and get out of the low umbra here.
Okay.
It'd be some sort of symbol drawing to somehow implement that rune into a
Yes,
gate, and you don't know how.
So, Zykes, if you'd be so kind as to return us all back to the real world.
Okay. One by one, you guys pop back.
Okay. You have a relic, he thinks it'll break it if he takes it to the low umbra, so we're going to teleport.
All right. I'm fine with that.
So we just don't know how to overlap sigils.
This is a different type of magical. It's a mu sigil. You don't know how that
I'm not
works.
worried
with
about
modern.
it. I teleported last week twice. It's not a big deal. And after you've been targeted by a mu, or what was it?
Deep one?
Not a mu. What was that guy? Once you've been targeted by the Migo application death ray trap, you know.
I was with you on that one.
I know.
We should load up, prepare them. Like, if they do snatch us, we should have our laser guns out.
Sure.
That way, when we appear in the circle, we can kill a few of them before we leave.
I like your optimism.
Browning asked you, do those work underwater?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If they're taking us,
Kind of looking at the seams.
I think we probably should take
the rocket guns do work underwater, but my ray gun might not.
We should probably take drinks of wine of bass so we can survive. You know, I'm 2 miles underneath the
We have, to
ocean.
go in, we have to go in the chantry to get it. I don't have any.
Okay. I mean, if they take us, that's where we're going. Don't
You're a
kid
bass
yourself.
follower and you can't
You'll be in
brew
an
it?
air bubble if you're
I don't
lucky.
have
2
time.
miles
I'm
underneath
usually
the
on the
ocean.
go.
Browning looks like he was just holding his breath. He's like, okay.
He's got this one covered.
Wine and bass, I like it.
We'll go in
Let
and
me
see
get
if
a
we can
baby
purchase
and
some
put my gun
wine
in.
and bass.
There you go. It's good for the first shot. Oh, now it's got a hole.
It'll be clear.
Oh, okay.
We'll go in and see if we can buy some wine and bass from him.
There is some purchasable. I think what I said before was, did I give you a list price for the one that passed?
800.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I buy it.
Okay.
One for each of
A
us.
toast.
Actually, I get 2 for each of us, so we can come back if we get trapped on.
All right.
So we'll just use one. One line at best. Or TPM.
Yeah.
All right.
After we have our pre-game toast.
TPM post.
I'm happy as a clam.
I hope you're not loaded now.
Oh God, that's right.
So you get tanked after one glass?
The
No
plateau.
tolerance for alcohol anymore.
Oh, it's one glass of wine.
Yup.
Yeah.
He's got a 1 point quirk.
Oh, right. So is it
0 point for it.
You get drunk now on half a teaspoon? Of
Oh, no, it's whatever the DM.
No, you think you can handle this, but you're already
I
feel
feel
good.
warm.
He's already 4 sheets.
Feels
in.
warm.
He showed
Feeling
up.
more. Got the tinglies. Let's go.
He's over there. I don't think I can do this.
All right. You're not,
He Cthulhu'd out on whatever roll he just made.
I know. You're not going to be monkeying with my spells, are you? Like, trying to layer shit that I don't know about that's going on?
You're all sorts of awesome over there, aren't you?
Yep.
Just remember, I tried to keep you guys in the loop on my plans.
Oh, I'm just doing my wills.
Oh, okay.
I'm buffing up that.
You're
Against
rolling
that
for
power,
spells?
mental
Is
strength.
that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing my will roll. And
So
I
you made
just
a luck
left
one?
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know.
I was going to tell you.
I
So-
did mental strength by 3. I don't know what it does, but I'm strong.
2, 3, 6.
Oh,
That's-
your RSL adds to certain effects that try to do your. Was it attached to your mind? So
Oh,
it's
that's
actually
right.
a passive.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So if they try to control your
Mind
mind,
barrier by 7.
then that kicks
Okay.
in.
Then just write that down.
I have auto hypnosis. Can I do that?
Yeah, you could do
Yeah.
that and give you a plus 2 to your roll.
It gives you whatever you beat it by.
Well, not what do you beat it by,
Well,
but
it's
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 a
a
plus.
fraction.
So I rolled a 6.
I thought it was just a 5 plus 2.
Is it a hard skill?
in the book it's flat plus 2.
Okay.
Very hard.
I
It's
want to
average.
say
I think it's average.
I did it by 9. So I get plus 4 of my wills for the next hour.
I
by
have
9,
It's I have 2 points in it, and I'm at -1.
so it's very
Minus
hard.
So 14.
2 points into it.
-1.
Yeah,
I
it'd
did
be
it
hard.
by 8.
So that would be a plus 3.
Okay. 8 would be a plus 4, wouldn't it?
It's not half.
Okay. Plus 3.
So you wanted reciprocal magic to transpose?
Well, let me just handle this one, kid.
Professor is nice to throw too.
If I need anything from you, I'll take the quintessence.
That's nice.
Although I'll feel guilty this time, because you can actually use your quintessence.
Yeah, you'll just find out lightning bolt
I'll be
coming your way.
butchering it out.
Yep, there's a quintessence you ordered.
Oh, that'd be kind of sad if you're doing that in the
So-
middle of trying to save your ass.
You constructing a sigil here. What are you guys doing?
I'll draw
for-
a sigil, power it up,
Okay.
link it up, take my time.
Right.
Make it
You can give
happen.
me, what is it? For this one, I will need the individual roll. So you'll need symbol drawing and then.
Symbol drawn. So that's 5, 11, so that's by 4.
Okay.
Then I need to mark it. So sense, right? Or link.
You don't have to mark it. It just makes it easier to.
So spatial link it, right? To mark it.
Yep. If you want to come back to this location, it makes it easier.
But doesn't it make it easier on the sending too? Or
Not
not really?
too much.
But a little bit. Yeah, okay. So I'll make everything as easy as I can. So I succeeded by 6 on the link.
Okay.
If I can, I'm not trying to make something permanent, so even if I did really good, I just want it to last for like 10 minutes and have it go away after, we leave.
Given from what you know of the protocols of the chantry, you guys are doing this somewhat in the area.
Yeah.
There's probably someone that dismantles it.
Okay. If we needed to tell somebody we're doing this, it'd just be easier for them.
If you're doing,
I
I'm
would
assuming you're doing it
extend the
far
courtesy.
away. You're not doing
Okay.
it right next
Yep.
to the thing. I'm just saying, it's very likely that someone near that open point would deal with an open spatial point somewhere
Gotcha.
near the facility.
Okay. So then I need to sense the steely. Right.
You have a rough idea of where it is, but before the area is kind of blanketed.
Yep. So I'll sense it to see if I can make sure I can find the path. And I'll make it by 9.
Okay.
I have my links all established.
It does take a moment for that to kick in. You have seen that there are a few other active sites around Great Britain,
Okay.
from what you can tell, but they're all not on landmass.
Okay. So if it's active, right here you go, boys and girls. Keep your hands inside the school bus.
Why don't we just link all those sites to the Migo ship?
And then I will transpose this. So the
Yeah,
transpose
This is a transpose teleport.
is going to be,
trying to
a
take
7, so
jar.
success by 9.
Or use them.
Okay. You guys ultimately arrive inside of Drum to Drop. It looks like one of the public fountains that the last time you've been here has been removed, and there's a large gate sigil that's kind of built in the ground here. Scarlet freaks out immediately upon entering the city, almost frenzies to the point, and then Jeb can deal with that.
Lots of claws.
Otherwise, you guys can see that it seems like the town of Drum to Drop is operating as per normal. There are individuals that seem to have almost ashen symbols drawn on their head, but otherwise it seems as though there's mailmen about, there's people driving, dropping off food products, other things of that nature. The town is fairly busy.
Brian, do you think you could take us to your mistress and we can see if she's available to take a call?
Yep. He'll call a cab in the
Yeah.
area. He says, we need to be taken to the castle.
Yep. They don't take money anymore. Excuse me, can I drive?
He'll let you drive.
Is that a quirk that you acquired along the way? I asked you, or you always have to drive? I mean, I don't mind. I'm just wondering if it's
Just
like a psychological thing.
Keeps my blood pressure low. Otherwise, I have to.
Otherwise, he jinxes
All right, I
the
understand.
driver.
I like
You notice whenever I have to talk to distances with people or how to go from point A to B, I get frustrated quite easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You might have in your off time had to literally take him away from some 60-year-old Brooklyn man. You're like, no, you only can take fifth over there. And he's like, yeah!
Yeah, and now I'm starting to get to the point now where I just kind of go. I used to try to talk it through, and now I just go right to the frustrated, screeching halt of.
All right. I understand.
All right. Otherwise, from here, you would be, what is it? Mrs. Urquhart seems to be working out away from the castle. She seems to...
Playing a little badminton.
It seems as though she's kind of gardening in a region that's a little bit farther out. She's not at the manor, but as you kind of approach the castle, she just happens to be in the area.
It's a lovely Sunday.
You know? Otherwise, she will slowly approach your vehicle.
Yeah, we'll get out.
It does seem as though the individual interior to here does have a positive response, kind of towards her, at least body language. He feels somewhat comfortable, a little bit nervous, if anything. And he kind of waits here as you guys leave.
You guys, I tell him you can head back and about your business. So
He will.
yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Mrs. Eckhart. I hope it's not an inconvenience.
She says,
Nathan
not
was
at all.
calling you."
Not at all.
So I had mentioned to my companions here that as you told me, there's apparently an opportunity with Mormo. You have some thoughts on perhaps how we could put him back into the hell that he came from, or she came from? Or?
Well, she'll tell you that the current Mormo is really stuck in another dimension from here.
Okay.
Some sort of...
Number 2.
They give you a receipt? Oh, no.
How about dice?
They sell dice here?
Still a lot of
They
dice.
sell dice here. Oh, okay.
The full presence of Mormo is
Give you
actually
10% off, right?
somewhere in the depths of the Nine Hells.
Okay.
What's currently here is what she would equate to as an avatar, or at least a host for part of Mormo's power.
Okay.
A very human body, which could be destroyed.
And you had thoughts on how these relics would perhaps, I don't pull them out, but the thorns with the blood of the carpenter, you had ideas on how they could be used perhaps to see this accomplished?
She says that there's ways of, I suppose, making it much more difficult for someone like that to directly affect you. I suppose what she would equate to as blessings and sacraments.
Okay.
And she can only offer an opportunity to get further into the complex. But she says that she's not suggesting necessarily that you do that, but she's aware of the dark star that's coming. And with the proper resources under her guidance, she might be able to do something about that.
And what are you going to extract out of the situation?
She says Mormo has access to quite a few resources, and those resources she could repurpose against this dark star that's coming.
That's the planet entity that's going to eat Earth.
Right. Well, it's going to cause problems if nothing else.
She says some of the sacraments and rituals she's aware of don't really work on a person like her.
Right. Who would you
However,
recommend? Who do you recommend that we see to have those sacraments placed on us?
She says she has somebody in town here that could do those things. And she assumes that maybe even the Bureau of Water Reclamation might want to lend effort into this project.
I'm sure they will. Well, let's say the whole situation goes as planned, which probably won't, but let's say it did. Will the shallow in New York City be relieved where we can stop powering up the
Containment
generators to sustain it in our reality?
She says the shallow is kind of a pot mark there. It's going to be there. The Chantry might be able to remove, or at least better board the area in the future. It might heal naturally, but she'll say that she would remove the threat in the shallow.
So then we'd be left with maybe an occasional errant spirit or something like
Spirits that break through occasionally like that, but nothing like a demonic foothold.
that. Or army, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to take Mormo's army and put yours there instead, are you?
She requires a fair amount of Mormo's resources. She's not putting any army in, she'll say New York. She has no interest.
Just a quick question. Is there
She says it'll just be an empty shallow sitting on top of New York, and then you guys can deal with it from there.
once the star is and the threat to your family is gone, what do you plan on returning to do?
She says that's she says the threat to her family being completely gone is very optimistic. You're talking about long-term goals. She's more of a here and now.
Sure.
She says there's a fair amount of things on the future, and nothing's for certain. I mean, even her oracles tell her differing
Outcomes
of things to be happening. She does say that the star is closer to what she would determine as some sort of apocalypse happening here. Occasionally you guys come across other ones.
Okay.
But she doesn't know if you were destined to stop them from happening, or if
Just make them.
somehow they were going to be destroyed inadvertently somewhere down the line. Some other evil steps in and takes over. She's a fickle thing.
So tell us about the resources you want to throw into this. Tell us what you expect from us, etc., etc.
She can provide the sacraments, the knowledge and the rituals required to send in teams of people, even people from MI5 into the area. It's not going to make you invincible, but it should keep a lot of the riffraff away. If something's going to crush your head in, it's still going to crush your head in, but at least Mormo can't instantly zap you to the other side of the planet or into a nearby star.
Mormo's the master of time and light. How do we actually do anything to hurt him? I mean, he's the master of time, so whatever we do,
Well, she
She
was
says
saying
not
that-
time, light and
Distance,
space.
right?
All right, sorry, light and space.
She says, and what she believes is often demonic entities, ego is a bit of their power source. So it's very likely that she initially wouldn't do anything. She's very likely staying with her army. She says that you would need to figure out some way of drawing her in, and then under those circumstances, she could prevent her from leaving. She says, from there, though, she'd imagine that you might need to seal the deal or construct whatever bomb or use your laser guns or things of that nature. She says that if you had access to, I suppose, stronger demonic forces, might be helpful as well. She doesn't want to cross-contaminate with the Bureau of Water Reclamation. She doesn't want to
What about the shell
scare
that
those
Mormo
off.
shares?
She says, from what she understands, the shell has certain weaknesses. I mean, there are vague fragments of whatever soul was in there prior. You might be able to hit a kind of a, what is it, not a sour note, but
A psychic note.
a psychic memory, some
Maybe gain
sympathetic
a moment
way.
or two hesitation or something.
It probably needs
She
some
understands her.
in-depth
Mormo
psychology.
used to have a brother, a family, grew up places. She says these objects could even be used to hurt Mormo's host.
Sounds like research.
Well, we knew the brother.
Okay.
Mormo turned him into Brother Crispy.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was in.
It's very likely Mormo was trying to destroy anything that might
Be used.
pose a threat in the future.
So, tell me about the artifacts that you want out of there, and then we can discuss which ones we want, which ones you want. We can have a draft.
She says it's a demonic foothold. She doesn't know everything that's there, but a lot of the resources, like what she would say is footmen and mostly faith. Demons reap faith.
So you take over the soldiers and draw them to you.
And she would use those resources and faith to combat the dark star approaching.
I need 10 of those.
She says if
soldiers
there's
for
minor
target
artifacts
practice.
are there, feel free to was it
Stuff your pockets.
stuff your pockets with whatever's left in that battle-scarred shallow. She says it gets a bit creepy out there, though. She says that she's not sure of anything that might fill the power gap, but it is a pretty powerful shallow, so it wouldn't be unusual to see larger spirits kind of come in after, presumably you get rid of Mormo and she moves out the army. But she's assuming that you guys can handle whatever there, the Bureau of Water Reclamation.
It'll be on a scale much significantly less than
Yep.
normal. And it
She
won't
says
have an
the
army.
equivalent of a bunch of hobos taking over a train car.
There you go.
All right, let's get our things cast on us, do some research, and make this thing happen. I think we can do it. in
Be there
42
any
minutes.
particular magics that you'd recommend that would be useful
That's what time
in
the
the
focus.
effort?
She says, well, counter spatial magics. For the most part, she can try to stop Mormo from interacting with you directly or even trying to escape the vicinity, but that doesn't mean she's not going to be able to teleport a building on top of your heads.
Okay. And how about the actual destruction of the host? Is it just, shoot it with a rocket gun is good enough, or
Her divine presence fills the
Okay.
host.
So
So,
is it better to-
generally speaking, only a symbolic weapon or those of holy nature would be able to significantly injure her. And provided the host was significantly damaged, at that point, the amount of power that Mormo would be able to invest into the host would be significantly limited. Meaning the more she becomes injured, the less power Mormo has.
We're making
Okay,
a
so there's a
holy
benefit
missile.
of damaging the host.
Got her too.
She says she's not as creative as you individuals, so you might be able to use those objects in some sort of weapon.
Explosive holy missile.
You don't happen to know anything about Excalibur, do you? Or where it's laying around?
She knows of certain relics from Camelot. She's currently, I suppose, invested in an archaeological dig, but they've had some hang-ups. She'll get back to you on that.
How about the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch?
She doesn't know anything about
Do you
that.
want to try to get it?
It's not up to me.
She will say, though,
You know how to get it.
I don't.
that it might be best if the weapon is something that's kept on your person, thus being protected by your sacraments. Maybe a dagger or
Sword.
Even a
So like
sword.
a pistol rocket,
She says that she can't promise anything once that has left your person as in mid-flight.
right?
Yeah. And now basically you're shooting yourself in the head.
Yeah.
If you want to find it, there's a place.
And she says with ancient demons like this, symbolism is important. Light, darkness, fire, ancient elements.
Darkness, because she's the master of light.
I suppose it'd be the
And
opposite.
something that's opposite of time, which is stasis.
Dark fluid.
Is there an effective way to just attack the actual link? Or not really?
She says the link is the host itself.
Okay.
And Mormo isn't the master of light. She'll just say that she was...
She knows
or
about it.
it was one of the supposedly fallen angels in control of distancing stars and light. So... doesn't mean you can't combat her with her own fight fire with fire. She just wouldn't recommend it.
Right. She's really good at it.
However, she says that's completely optional. I mean, she doesn't know what the Bureau of Water Reclamation is up to, and she's just saying that she has some other things in the works, but if that happened to be a plan that he wanted to pursue in the future, she might be able to do something about that dark star.
Okay.
But maybe you guys will figure out something on your own.
Let's go shoot shit.
Do you guys have any other questions while we're here?
Oh, you weren't here for initially. As soon as you guys were inside the town, Scarlet pretty much freaked out, almost to the point of frenzying. When you asked her later on, she says that gate there's things immediately on the penumbra surrounding it, and she saw bones and other things of that nature, and she thinks that they capture deep ones,
Eat them.
presumably ones that teleport over the wrong area.
Oh, so they poach deep ones as they
Yeah.
poach us.
It's the counter ambush.
But she said that the things smelled like Zykes, and there was a bunch of them on the other side. She says that they're all in town too.
I'll let her know. It's like we'll try to limit our visits here.
Yeah, that'd be fucking great. She'd like that a lot. She doesn't like any of this.
Does she want a caboose?
She does not want to lift papoose.
She's not a papoose cat.
But does she want to be so close to you in this fearful area?
No, she just doesn't like being
So if
here.
we don't have any other questions, do we have any other questions?
It's been hilarious
Massacre?
with his-
So appreciate the time. We thank you for it.
She understands.
Um,
She says there's some housing that they're kind of reacquiring and kind of reinforcing to the south of Drummond's Rocket. She says she could provide you housing there in the future if anything goes sour.
Okay, appreciate that.
She does warn you about the teleportation, though. She says it's much easier to go through the Umbra to reach here.
Apparently, I have an artifact that prevents that.
Well, Zyke said that he'd destroy it, potentially destroy it.
She thinks, what is it? Zykes doesn't give it enough credit. That actually might significantly damage Zykes if it activates.
Okay.
But, I don't know. She says that surely you know how it works, right?
Of course.
She could probably turn it off.
Okay.
That's the
I'll
one
catch you.
I smile like I know what I'm doing.
Okay. So it sounds like we're going to go back and see if we can get the Bureau of Water and Land Reclamation, get some resources committed there, do a little bit more research, try to find out the best use for our sacraments. Should we just contact Zykes when we're ready to kind of at the jump-off point?
She said that's fine.
Do you need any lead time?
nothing but
She would like some advance notice.
Like a week, a day,
2-3 days.
a month?
A few days.
A few days? Okay. So we'll try to give you, say, 4 to 5 days, if possible.
She can't guarantee that she's going to be immediately available, depending on. She's got a lot of things in the works right now, a bit of juggling, but she thinks that a couple of days notice should be adequate.
No, we understand you're busy, and we appreciate you and giving us this indulgence every time.
All right.
Okay.
Do we order sacraments?
Well, let's first try to
Already
figure-
got them.
All right.
Got the thorns with the blood of Christ on them.
Can we go back to the
And she
chantry
says the
and
other
say,
rituals would have to be performed within a certain amount of time. She doesn't want them to wear off.
Right.
And they do require a significant amount of resources that she's repurposed from
Perhaps your people could come to us and do them, so we don't have to come through the gate again.
She says the people that she knows are in South England, so
All right. Never mind. Sorry.
it'd be easier for you to go there.
Yeah. We might find something at the chantry, so
All right.
we haven't
sounds
talked to
good.
Larson yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions here? Otherwise, I'll bring us back.
Back we go.
Okay. Well, again, we thank you for your time. And I guess we start walking down the road.
Okay.
So,
That one's smooth.
She waves. She continues on.
she's always a pleasant conversation. A lovely daisy bed over there.
She seems to be gardening, but I mean, after a while, it seems like she just walks like straight into woods.
It's in the woods now.
Life, death, life,
The
death,
show's
life, death.
over.
All right. We get to the gate. Deactivate it.
Yeah.
Walk us through. We get to the other side. The deep ones didn't catch us.
Well, they've disassembled my gate on the other side, so now the question is, where do we want to go?
Can we get to Boston and walk into the chantry?
Okay.
I'll tell you.
So you want to go to Boston?
I would like to. Or you can drop these guys off
Yeah, go to
Do we still
Boston.
have the sigil that's in your cat house, your dock, your wharf?
because it's outside the. No, it's not my wharf. I moved there. I'm
Well, the
outside
prof-
of B's.
The professor's got his
his
sigil
house.
at his house, so
Let's
why don't
go
we
there.
go there?
That's
Is that-
in upstate New York.
Right. So that's not far.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So I'll draw a sigil here.
Okay.
I'm going to take all my proper steps. Actually, I don't need to because they've already got the sigil, right?
Yep.
Except
They have
for-
a very elaborate one here that does provide bonuses.
Yep. So we go to the town square, and so then all I should need to do is send Steely of the professors,
And then,
house,
transpose.
and then transpose, right? So
Is that
this,
symbol drawing transpose?
Hmm?
Transpose symbol drawing, isn't it?
I've got symbol drawing.
It's
To
Symbol
draw-
drawing is used to
with
construct
location.
something like what you're standing on right
Right.
here at the center of
But
town.
it also allows me to draw my primal ward or my. Right?
Yep.
I just use the actual spell to power up what I drew.
Yep.
Right?
Make sure you use your staff when you do your symbol drawing because you get a +1 to that with that.
Yep, I did. So let's see here. I'm looking to sense Steely. Sorry, I lost it for a second there. 14, so only a success by 3 to try to sense it.
Okay. You can find it. You've been to it multiple times before.
Okay. Then
It seems to be a lot easier to teleport, or at least sense out from here.
Yeah. Okay. Then I will attempt to send us there. Success by 10.
All right, you arrive. You can give me a observation. It'd be,
Everybody? Or?
no, just him. It would be just perception.
Observation or perception?
Perception. Right? It'd be a just straight up perception observation.
Okay.
As in, it's not visual, it's not hearing. It's
Yep, gotcha. So it's a 9, so that'd be by 6.
When you were transiting from here to there, it went very smoothly. The only thing is, you had a feeling as though you passed through some cobwebs as you arrived here. And they're kind of breaking away from you.
Okay. The cobwebs are breaking away from us?
Yeah, but it still feels like you walked through cobwebs
Yeah.
you didn't
Okay.
see.
If you don't pay with those,
Can I brush them off? Or
You can.
how do I do that?
Um,
Do I use a transpose roll to hurry them on their way?
they're already starting to break up right now, so
Alright, so just let time take care of it. That's what I'm here.
give me an IQ roll.
If only I'd been trained. It's 7, so that's by 4.
By
I
4.
was about to go buy one. I'm good. No, I want to eat a whole one.
You're not quite sure. That was a bit odd.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody knows something about that.
And
Can I make a roll?
tell you guys, I think we ran through some type of...
Spiders.
No, I think we ran through some type of ward or warning system, potentially even a net, and we just crashed through it.
Alright.
Okay.
So either someone kind of was aware of our transit. I do start to step off the ring. I kind of recommend you guys should as well. Cause
I get off of
if
it.
they want to drop a hammer here, it's just, something, there's a hammer.
Yep.
So far, nothing.
And then the warehouse collapses in on itself.
We're at her house. She loses her house.
Well, he built it in his backyard. What can I say?
Yep, pretty much.
I thought I learned my lesson after I destroyed our first warehouse a couple of times.
Nothing? After we get off the sigil?
Yeah.
Alright, let's just get out of here.
Yeah. Catch a cab and go down to the chantry, right?
We can check. We can jump the grab if you're going to plan on heading back to the...
I'll go with you guys, whatever.
So,
'cause we
what's
need-
the plan?
We're going to go to the chantry.
We need to go to the chantry to find the sacraments. Now we can protect ourselves. We probably need to do some research to find out what the best method of attacking Mormon is.
No,
Right.
that's... We're already committed.
No, we're not. We can walk away anytime we want.
Yep.
Smallwood, I hear.
We're pretty good at leaving things behind. Exactly. What? A project needs finishing? Sorry.
Shelf that one for tomorrow.
Exactly. Why do
That's a different group of adventurers.
We're going
Why
to
do
outsource
today?
this out to a bunch of temps. Hey guys, we're your replacements.
Unknown locals that have no ability.
Exactly. I gotta go cash my paycheck at Obduro. Can't see Mormo. Sorry.
We'll go to the chantry. I'm going to head to the chantry. I need to...
To the chantry.
Are you gonna help with the research?
I'd rather be making magic items for us to use.
Okay. I'm not gonna use the flying machine thing.
All right. Those of you that weren't through
I'm
this,
just telling you not to make the investment of your time and effort. One for me. I don't know if Jeb wants one.
I'm kind of stuck between one place and another place right now. But that's necessity.
I know the professor wanted one, but she wasn't here, so he got it.
Yeah. I know if the professor wants one.
so now that you're all transiting, all of you would hear the police lockdown of certain areas of Boston, the King of Ireland massacre, other things of that nature that you're aware of
Okay.
as you come to the Chantry Point.
Do you have
But it seems
capital?
like the Chantry is more concerned with shit getting in the Chantry rather than shit happening in the same town. Under normal circumstances, it's probably something they might
So it happened in
investigate.
Ireland. Or King's
There was
Road.
apparently a massacre on King of Ireland Palace.
Are we able to determine what type of massacre occurred? Was it the police that got massacred, or was it the gangsters that got
You'd have to give me
massacred?
some streetwise or
Yeah, but-
survival.
Tell me, I got a scratch. I need it itched.
I have
Don't
two
know
life
what's
bonus
going
dice.
on.
I did it by 8.
Oh, non-verbal streetwise. On the back notes here.
Tempting me with your snacks.
By 9.
$1 for a snack.
Yep.
9. By 8.
Fate.
Also by 8.
You guys spend a couple of hours in town. I'll wait for Dust to get back. Actually, I'll get myself a candy bar as well.
That's what all the cool kids are doing.
Watch out for the cord. Can we throw that in the garbage? Sorry, I didn't get it very far. Don't think any magic while we're waiting.
I don't think it'll take that long. I didn't have any of my blue cards.
What's the name of that Minotaur? The red one?
Minotaur. Oh, it's not just shaman. Is it?
It was a rare too, right?
Pretty sure it's a relatively crappy rare as far as price goes. Rage Blood Shaman.
3 words or 2?
2.
Rage Blood Shaman.
Yep. Did you get any of these guys?
All right, there we go. So you guys spent a few hours kind of going around town, asking at various establishments, maybe even a few like illegal speakeasies. It seems as though, from what you can tell over the 6 of 8 between all of you, apparently there was an individual. What's his name here? Patrick Malone, along with one of his other buddies that supposedly survived the event. There's close to about 30 people in this shootout, and 50 officers that were ultimately storming the place. But apparently everyone ended up in kind of body bags, and they spent probably the next week picking between various body parts to figure out if they were police officers or part of the crew. So it looks like 50 officers were pretty much hamburgerized, and so we're close to about 33 of the 33 of the gang members.
Wow.
The various reports in the newspapers are things about flechettes and bombs, and there was what have you,
Sounds worse
some
than
sort of
Red
weird
Hot.
booby traps and other things of that nature. But some of the underground resources talk about things like, I mean, they were literally trying to figure out whose fingers this was or things like that. There wasn't whole bodies.
Who done it?
Do we want to take a couple minutes, take a look at it?
Sure.
We'll take 2 minutes, make a determination, and leave.
Basically, we don't do anything straight up. We always get distracted with freaking cats, so sure. We should go
But,
investigate
In
this.
fairness, there's a lot of shit happening, and you're not necessarily the A-team for every fucking thing that happens.
No, we are.
So,
Yeah, we are. We're the
I
best.
mean, we don't
that-
have to. I mean,
No,
50.
I think we should. I'm trying not to complain. I think we should investigate it. It's funny, and whatever.
Steve wants to do it all.
I do. I like to do it all one night.
So is this a researching thing, or is this a we go there thing?
you're already in Boston. That's the
Already
only
in
reason you got
Boston.
the
How far
Well,
rumors.
we'd
down the
have to
road?
do some research, figure out what's going on, and then we'd have to go there, probably get some innocent people killed, and let the bad thing go, and then we'd walk away and regret our decisions at a future date when we want to come back and
Then
try.
what we do?
So we're going right now. Right now.
It's Chancer's problem.
Right.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Go.
So, you guys
I'll
are,
point at the ground. Go.
so you're going to the chantry.
You're not going to make us use our shoes up, are you?
If we're going to the chantry, we got to get in a car and drive.
No, what is it? I'm assuming that you guys have driven 4 to 5 hours out to Massachusetts and in Boston.
Okay.
And that's where you started hearing the rumors
Up in
and
Ireland.
the activated, the King of Ireland massacre. That's because the address was the
Okay,
King
give
of
up.
But it actually happened in
the
Boston.
King's Palace. If I remember, I can't remember specifically, but yeah. But it happened inside of Boston, and
Let's
the
go. Do we
entry
have any
point
truth
to
grenades left?
the entry point to the what the hell is it? The order here is in Boston.
All right.
So if you guys go head back to the
Chantry?
entrance to the chantry. It takes a little bit to
Did
get
you guys want
processed.
to go after
Just
the massacre? I'm sure there's some evil thing on the loose. Kill him.
Well, we'll talk to the Chantry first, see if they know anything extra. We've been gone today, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll start our investigation here.
We haven't been gone today. We've been gone a couple hours.
Yeah.
They didn't know anything before.
About what? Boston? Didn't even know Boston happened until after we left here.
All right.
We might not have a whole team, a crack team on Boston.
Well,
Let's
then
go shoot
let's,
some stuff.
let's talk with the Chantry to see if they know anything about the massacre.
All right.
so talking to the chantry here. It takes you a moment to get somebody within the proper authority. Ultimately, you do find out that they're aware that there was something summoned inside the Boston area. They don't think it has anything to do with Nepal or even the incident with Mormo, but it is a fairly old, what the hell is it, presence. They're currently trying to look into it a little bit, but you get a feeling that they're not diverting a huge amount of resources to it. I mean, there's a lot of people theoretically at risk for this, but I mean, China is devolving into a insanity-ridden hellhole.
The Chinese are taking it in the chin, you know? Yeah. Sad story.
What about Chen?
China.
Under different circumstances, there would have been a crack team on this. Presumably heading.
Instead, you
this
got
close.
us.
Yeah. What do you want us to do? What can you tell us?
Well, from what they can tell, that there is some sort of ancient ritual that took place. They don't know where was it, how it was summoned specifically. They've had some people at the research site, and they've had only minor cooperation from the police department. They're a little bit skittish of what happened. They said that ideally somebody would spend time getting into the police department here, getting more information about what happened, following down leads, and they'll tell you the standard of fare. It's just they haven't.
All right. Well, we can use our contacts with the Obduro.
They haven't gotten knee deep in it.
Get our foot in the door at the police department, don't you think?
Oh my God, we're actually
We can do that.
Outside experts.
We could go start the ball rolling on the Mormo thing with the Chantry, as far as maybe they can task some people to do some research. Here's the sacraments, start to think about how to use them.
Sounds good. I like that too.
Get that ball rolling, then we'll go try to batten this thing up. I'm sure we can't possibly make it worse. And then, come back.
You say it out now. Just remember that.
Yeah, I said that with my tongue in my cheek.
Okay.
I feel like that was probably said before we went into the mountain.
I still have dreams when I'm holding a pair of legs.
Are they Jack's legs?
No. It's that other poor bastard.
All right. So we get the Chantry,
Our to-do list.
our to-do list as far as...
See, if we can find Larson,
Yeah.
basically
Okay.
explain to him our meeting with Miss Eckhart about her thoughts and plans and her willingness to participate in taking out Mormo. Here's some things we have. Does he have some people that he can start, I understand it's taking
He says
resources
that's a
off.
pretty large endeavor. He'll see what he can end up diverting to that cause.
We're not just more so on the preparation side. If they can help us figure that out.
That's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Research, materials, other things of that nature.
You're gonna go try to,
It'll take him a few days. He probably says at least 3.
We're going to go save the city of Boston.
yeah. So that doesn't.
He's heard something about that, something
Rituals
recently summoned.
Yeah.
They haven't had any detections of it recently, so they're
Let's
not
call
sure
up
if
that
it
dirty
is.
Turk and see if there's got any heavy particle events happening down in Boston.
I like it.
Haven't heard from that little weasel.
I know, right?
All right.
Is he dead?
No, he's still alive.
Okay.
He actually works at a lab now, I tell you. He's a nice guy.
He's safe in his
Yeah,
lab.
that's what he wants you to think. Wants you to think he's not Turkish
See, that's
too.
the hunt drive.
World
That's right
renowned
there.
for
He
his
actually calls him Dirty
calculations,
Turk.
other things of that nature. Has
When he was going through his funk, he was just another guy. This sounds like the hunter I know.
Yeah. I still hear the voices. I try to bottle him up more.
All right. Do they have a phone I can call my lab? I get on my ring.
okay.
Radio.
I
The
buzz you.
radio.
Your ring. Use your ring.
While she's trying to get a hold of lab, I'll
Do
try
you
to
have
see
an
if
old one?
Casey's
I'll
find
tell
it.
you.
You
We retired those, I tell you.
Yeah.
I still got one.
Well, in fairness,
I look
you
around.
have a portable microphonograph,
Yeah.
which you can
I talk to him.
verbally contact. You're aware that there's like 4 other people that are on this line, but
Yep. I call the Dirty Turk to see if he's got any kids in Boston.
Dirty Turk.
Got in my cashmere robe. What are you
I
wearing?
can't remember his
If you
name.
wanna know
I'm
about
sorry.
Henry
Omar
Article,
Howden.
He mentions.
Omar Bahowden. I call Omar Bahowden.
You could have asked
out.
us. We knew his name.
Yeah. Dirty Turk.
I call Omar Bahowden and see if he has anything on his meter for when the event happened or anything in the near future.
he says nothing significant. I mean, it's higher than background, but it's
Okay.
being washed out a little bit. He could probably spend some time and look into
It's okay.
that.
I just wanted to know if it was like a major event. We're walking into a
He hasn't
Type
detected
3
anything.
demon or-
Not yet.
okay.
Yeah, those type 3 demons, man.
Oh, they're bad.
All right. I tell you, he has nothing on the meter.
Oh yeah. Well, he had stuff. He just doesn't know.
Right. He could have fine-tuned it, but it's not like a Type 3 demon. So.
Exactly. He doesn't need to spend the time. Christ probably doesn't have time to even know what he's doing.
Right. So, it's not a major thing. It's something we can investigate, and hopefully we won't get in too much trouble.
Did Casey ever find anything while we're in the chantry?
I think you were only in there for a couple of days, so not.
Okay.
He would be able to find you a very assorted weaponry that could work on a spirit. He says probably something similar to the Tremere knife, but he says it's not specifically geared towards Garu.
Okay. Well, I really don't
It's
care.
not silvered.
If you can find me something a little bit more powerful, I'd appreciate that more dope.
So, Browning, can you have Zyke sniff around if there's like been a sacrifice? Maybe there's some demonic presence here or something?
Yeah, he says he's pretty good at finding demonic presences too.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
I mean, you could have Zyke
He's like,
do
I'm
kind of
pretty
behind
good.
the scenes, right?
Yeah, he assumes so.
Okay.
Is he staring at himself when he says, I'm pretty good at finding demonic presences?
No.
And then we talked to the Chantry about powering us up for an assault on Mormo.
Okay.
Right, so we got Larson already doing that.
Okay, we do. All right.
Yep. So now let's go down and see if we can get our contacts via Obduro into the
police department.
Do we want to call up our contact in New York to see if he's got some contacts in Boston?
Absolutely.
We can ask
The
Larson if he
manager.
knows anybody that's in Boston that's tied in.
Do you know anybody in
He
Larson?
can give you probably was it information, old contact information for a DA in the area,
Okay.
a Darius Keith.
Okay.
We just need somebody off our back while we're doing this. All right, help us get things off our back.
Exactly. Clean up all the knocked over China stores when we're awake. Shattered dreams and stolen lollipops to small children.
We contact Darius and tell him that we're from Obduro. Has he ever heard of Obduro?
Yeah, he's heard of Obduro before.
We've decided to throw some resources at the recent event here in Boston where we lost some officers.
Yeah, he says it was a pretty tragic event. They're currently looking into it.
Would they like some assistance? We're heavily schooled in
He
weird
wouldn't mind
shit.
talking to you about it. He can refer you to the lieutenant that's currently on the case. It might be better to talk to him in person.
Okay.
We'll be there in a couple.
10 minutes.
He'll contact the Boston Police Department and make them aware that you're going to be coming down to the department.
All right.
Otherwise, he tells you it's Lieutenant McElroy.
McElroy. We walk outside. I see my driver there.
Slide over, I tell him.
There's rappers everywhere. I'm like, what the heck?
Put his toilet in the seat here, baby. Look, I'm an inventor too.
Tell him to slide over, let this man drive.
There you go. Slide over so I can drive.
Yep, he does.
Yeah. He's done it before. He's good. He's trained.
Absolutely, he knows what to do.
He's just well worn where he's been sitting there for the past month.
Yep.
Bee's gonna come back. I know she is.
And she wouldn't leave me.
Well, he knows it because every week there's a guy that comes by and gives him his pay.
Every 2 weeks.
Here's your paycheck. Rides in on a little bike.
Here's your paycheck and you're Cuban.
All right, we drive to the police department.
Yeah.
I leave him in the car.
All right. Takes you a little bit of time. There are a few police barricades that you guys pass. It does seem as though you can give me an intelligence analysis or even a strategy land.
I'm surprised by
As we're driving, I'll try to sit shallow as we go through the area.
Okay.
What about
You can give me a roll on that.
I don't have intelligence now.
Tactics is more small team, or is a small unit tactics.
What was the other one I could give you?
Strategy land.
Strategy land.
Wow, we're playing with the big boys now, boys.
7 by 6.
6.
Get intelligence.
I would say going across town. There are a few strange disturbances, but you'd say below you, maybe sewer systems.
I'll let you guys know. Some weird stuff below us.
Okay.
Like shallows or something, or
Well, there's going to be something wrong like that after an event like this. I mean, there's a reason this place was chosen.
okay. Well, there you go.
So did we meet the DA and we're going to see the cops now?
We called the DA. He's going to
You
be
called the
us.
DA. He was going to inform you. Inform the Boston PD that you're going to be dropping by, and he referred your information to a Lieutenant McElroy, who's in charge of the case.
We got to drive this bus, B, because anytime I get involved with interpersonal relations, it's just before we go pear-shaped. So
All right. See if we can get to talk to the lieutenant.
Takes you guys probably 15 minutes to arrive on location. You drive up, you talk to them. They've already been informed of the situation. You can give you body language. Probably say,
Not here to step on your toes.
That's what.
By 3.
I got 8.
okay.
Or no.
By 9.
8.
By now.
So far, those
So-
are rolling good.
And what did you get, Steve?
Only 3 for.
For you two, it did feel as though, what is it, the desk sergeant in front handling people coming in, he did initially seem kind of calm and cool, but to you two, it seems as though he seemed to somewhat raise an internal eyebrow as you guys were passing by, like, I wonder if they know or something going on, or just, I suppose it felt as though he knew some relevant information.
Kind of
But
lean over TV. You want to probe him. He's a little nervous.
Walk by, and then just stop, and then just walk backwards to him.
Do you want me to talk to people? I'll be. Go talk to him.
I walk back to him.
He's surprised that we passed him.
Sergeant?
yeah,
My name is Beatrice Richter.
Riker.
God, Riker.
She doesn't even know her husband's last name.
It's been so long since I've seen him. And
It obviously wasn't a reason physical marriage.
we're hoping to be invited in on the recent case.
Yep, he had gotten information. What is it? He had gotten forward a warning from the DA, and he says McElroy should be in his office.
That's an interesting wording.
McElroy? Or what?
I'm sure
You got a warning about us, huh?
No warning. Excuse me. He would say he was told that he should expect you coming from the DA.
we've been involved in other cult-like cases previously. New York City.
He's
and
heard
other
some things like
areas.
that from Obduro.
We have a tendency to come in and try to find out who's at the bottom of things. And I was wondering if you've heard anything specific to the incidents that have gone on. Sometimes lieutenants don't hear all the scuttlebutt, and I need to hear.
He says it's
Even
not really
rumors.
his place. You should probably talk to Lieutenant.
Any information helps.
He says you just be careful on this investigation. It kind of went
Should ask him what he's seen.
pretty sour there for a while. People were kind of riled up.
What did you see? Were you there?
It's
not
really
a-
not my place to say.
I'm not a shrink. And I'm not going to report anything you saw because each and every one of us has seen odd things on investigations. Any gut feelings you have, anything you think you saw out of the corner of your eye,
Give me a diplomacy.
might as well use the curse dice.
So you just have to point B and eventually the dice will roll.
I did it by 11.
Okay. You made it by 11?
Yeah.
He'll kind of lean in. He's like,
Critically did it.
I heard you guys, dealt with kind of weird stuff up in Brooklyn. I mean,
Red
not that missing kid stuff, but like weird occult stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He said it wasn't. He'll end up taking kind of it to the side a little bit, away from some of the other people here in the precinct, even. And he says it was some strange things that happened up there. He says that he was a radioman out during the King of Ireland massacre. I didn't see no bombs heading off. I mean, there was gunshots and there was screaming, but there was no one firing back at him. Not from what I could see, and most of those wounds seemed to be, it was like an animal or something.
Okay.
He said, don't tell no one I said it, but I could have swore I saw something coming off that roof.
So like a big cat or something?
A big mass of ropes.
A blob?
Ropes would electrify.
It looked like some sort of, I don't know, like a winged thing.
Like a dragon?
He said, no,
Kind of like a vulture thing?
like
Bipedal
a weird winged man.
Weird.
I kind of describe what a Byakhee looks like.
Or a night gun?
We go through our monsters. It look like this. Ah!
Look at it! Look at it!
He said he didn't see its face that well. It could be a Byakhee, maybe even
Was it really quiet?
a night gaunt. He says no, he heard stuff coming around there. It wasn't super quiet.
Was it wearing
A
clothing?
night, from what you understand, a night gaunt wouldn't have made any noise whatsoever.
Was it wearing clothing?
No, but it came. There was a dark cloud right before it arrived, just up out of nowhere. It was a crystal clear night.
What phase was the moon in that night?
He says whatever the hell it is, like 2/3. He's not sure what that is.
Waxing and waning. It wasn't specifically full or nil.
No, not from what I could tell.
Did that, the day of the massacre, did it coincide with any regional holidays?
What day was it last? When it was?
He says it was probably a week away from Thanksgiving.
Okay. It's floating on it's a holiday last Thursday of November. Well, anyway. I thank you for your information. Animal wounds. You only think you saw one thing jumping off the roof.
So what happened when the people were attacked? Did they just kind of, like a bomb went off and they blew up, or?
He said no, it happened over some time. He says some of the stuff that they told the reporters as they're currently looking into it, and there's a lot of hearsay about bombs and traps and a prolonged incident, but he says that the police officers were pushing in pretty heavily into the Crimson gang. They essentially caught most of them on a major drug run, or what the hell have you. What would be time period appropriate?
What kind of
Prohibition?
drugs were there?
Yeah.
Smuggling?
Alcohol.
They're smuggling illegal goods and alcohol, some other stuff like that, and they caught him kind of red-handed. So they had cornered him into the palace, essentially what they'll tell you is kind of a slum hotel. And for the most part, they were kind of pushing in, and there was no way for him to escape. After they had kind of shot down a lot of the Crimson Gang members, just right before they got in, something just came down. He says he saw that dark cloud. Then there was something on top of the building, and that's when he started hearing the screaming.
Is the building...
He said he saw someone must have shot it, but
Were there any of the officers that engaged the creature that survived? Or are they
he said
in the hospital? Or
there's nobody that was alive at the site. There's officers within a couple blocks of there working on barricades and what the hell is it?
So you're the closest thing as an eyewitness then to
Yeah, and he says it's not like you can just go out and say that to the police chief that I saw some sort of winged creature come down from the top of the building and rip everyone apart.
Yeah, I might throw you in Arkham at the insane asylum.
It just uses claws.
You're not going to tell like
No.
It's
Nah,
between
you're
us.
perfectly normal, buddy. You just got screwed.
Yeah. Did it bite them or just claws?
I was there. I mean, it looked as though they were cut in half, and there was deep gashes. There was bite marks. I don't know.
I'm sure it can't be worse than the
I'll let Scarlet
deep
speak.
ones
She can read his thoughts.
backhand.
Was it wearing any clothes of any kind or any gear?
She
didn't
could.
notice
She
that.
would have to sit
Already asked,
here
he
and
said
I just didn't know.
get him to stare into her eyes.
So we can have a better chance of figuring out what kind of creature
She would
it was.
just need some time with him.
About how long, I'll ask.
Depends on his mind, how structured it is.
Okay. When's your next break?
Let my friend buy you some coffee and a donut.
He says he gets off around 4:40.
We'll be here to pick you up. We're not bringing you anywhere. He just wants to interview you.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's strange, but he'll help us figure out what it is.
He says, I hope it's not as strange as what I've been seeing over the last few days.
What
Stare
else have
into
you
a
seen?
cat's eyes?
He says there's been some strange activities inside of town.
The sewers?
He said we got a few strange calls about the sewers, but I think the only lead on the case was those two threatening phone calls. But I think you should talk to McElroy about that.
Okay.
Just let you know what the weirdness is. You just got to stare at my cat's eyes for a little bit.
Is it, what are those new age crystal things? Is that what this is?
It's
Yeah,
how
but
he
with the cat.
hypnotizes
Yeah.
you. It's how he hypnotizes you. To get you
My
into a
aunt
deep sleep.
Lou does those. What is it? Those palm reading things.
Yeah, this
I
is
don't know, a little bit hit and miss, but every once in a while she's pretty good.
Yeah.
all right, we'll come back around.
Yeah.
All right.
Go talk to the lieutenant.
All right. Otherwise, you can knock on the office. It does look like they are a little bit busy. If anything, it does look like there's a little bit more barricades inside the police station than normal. Looks as though there's kind of a few oddly placed bookshelves and other things of that nature
We
near
really need to get you
entrances.
some regular clothes when we do these regular mundane kind of investigations.
Oh, yeah, right? I stick it like a little thumb out.
Yeah, have you seen everybody staring at you? You look like a circus freak.
You look like a freak. I say, all these gadgets on me.
Exactly. You're not much better, me.
I've got a trench
Yeah,
coat. I put
and-
my trench coat over.
And there's
They're
also the
mostly hidden.
papoose, and then there was places where what the hell is it? Franck would bring some sort of deep one suit. So overall, you guys have a very strange reaction.
I bought
But-
trench coats for everybody. He refuses to wear his. We all have matching trench coats.
You want to be honest with you? My
I had
trench
my own
coat
trench
probably
coats
weighs
from the
20
beginning.
pounds right now.
Well, we got matching.
How many more
Was it
pennies
just
have
a
you
regular
gotten,
coat?
Dusty?
No, it's like
My
the,
trench coat's hanging up on
what
a
do they call
coat
the
tree right now.
No,
What
no,
was
it's
the
your
Cowboys
pocket.
wear?
Whatever you
Duster?
have.
I don't have any
Duster,
pockets.
it's
I
made
own
out
the
of
trench
that
coat,
kind of,
so
canvas?
therefore it's in that trench
oil
coat spot.
canvas or whatever. Yep.
No.
Pink oil canvas.
I'm
It's a nice trench coat too. Damn it.
It's high end.
Not wearing it.
I'll send shallows while we're in here.
Okay.
I like how you're yelling at them with your map case on your back.
I don't have that on my back.
Oh, you don't anymore?
No,
8
I don't have it all.
by 5.
So we don't have matching ones.
The goatee you're getting is definitely helping.
My driver has one.
I know. You bought it for everybody.
Once
Just you and a couple other
once it
people
gets
that
to,
wear it.
well, yeah, you got the kind going now. Once it gets to a certain length, you think it should be optimal, but it's doing pretty well right now. I would say low here. Yeah, it's relatively low here.
Okay.
I mean, relative to Boston, Boston's a little bit higher than normal. Not as much as New York a couple years ago, but
Okay.
definitely not New York now. So, as I said before, you guys can knock on the door and head in. Given the look of you, he says, you're the Obduro people. And he kind of looks around at the...
I've got a trench coat over my weird shit.
Okay, and then you got kind of a monocle
I don't
goggle
have
thing
weird
here
shit.
on
My
the...
goggles are on my top hat.
Okay, on your top hat, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't have weird shit. I'm good.
Pantsuit.
Yeah. I just kind of pushed
Aren't you wearing
past
the
with B top.
Aren't you wearing the Skeletor glove or the Freddy
It's a
Krueger
watch.
glove?
It folds into the watch and looks normal.
As in it folds it. Okay.
It was made to look normal.
Just big bracelet.
It's all the joints for
It's a
you.
normal
I didn't know
watch.
if you had it out readily accessible or not.
No, you just pull a tab and then it pops out and you're good to go.
But you might not want that extra turn or two of getting that out.
Yeah.
This one turn.
Maybe you need to immediately fly off and do something. Like, woo, Peter
And I
Pan.
can use real magic.
I go into the room. We're from Obduro. We're not here to step on
Yeah,
anything.
you'd gotten a call.
We're not here to interfere in any way. We have a
He
tendency
says, no,
to...
he warned you that there could be some gang activity related to this, and he can't ensure your safety, but he's willing to definitely accept your help if you're going to help with the case.
We'll take the risk.
From what we've heard on the street, there's a chance that there could be some cult-like activity. Not that there's anything real behind it, but that they believe that there's something behind it.
He's heard a bunch of weird rumors too, even inside the police department. He would tell you he thinks it definitely has something to do with that individual. They didn't account for what he'll say is the body of Patrick Malone. Just a few days ago, however, they came across the mutilated corpse of Freddie Louise, and supposedly he was one of the top guys, and maybe double-crossed him, or Patrick was feeling as though he might have loose lips or be a, what the hell is it, a liability.
Can we see any of these corpses?
He says, yeah, you can take a look.
I'd love to see.
He says,
The professor would love
we're
to
still,
see too.
he'll say it's a bit grim, but we're still sorting out which one belongs to what.
Yeah.
He said they should tell you there's also 2 death threats. It sounded like the individual Patrick Malone, but I don't know. It seems low likelihood that it's him.
What were the threats? Who are they against? What aspect?
What is it? 2, what the hell is it? Curiosity antiquity collectors? But I don't know what the hell Malone would be messing around with them for. From what he understands, it might have been somebody that just sounded like him that was making the threats. He imagines that he's still laying low. They don't think he's escaped the city. It's been some time, but I don't know. They still think he's still in the area. They have a lot of his assets locked up here inside of town, so he's going to be here at some point.
We're going to want to interview. We're going to want to interview the antiquities dealers. And do you have them under surveillance?
He says he is a
Protective
man,
custody.
that went out and talked to them prior. He believes that Anthony Hewer is going to be leaving town fairly soon. So, I mean, once they leave Boston jurisdiction, he's not going to have somebody follow him cross country.
Yep.
He otherwise has the address for Bertram Digby, and they occasionally case the place.
You said you had his effects here?
He says that they have a warehouse with some of the ill-begotten goods. They have a few men connected to the gang in lockup, and what the hell have you. There's still a fair amount of paraphernalia, and his known home and other things of that nature are still in town.
We're going to want to see all that if we can get access to it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got plenty to do. We'd like to see the bodies, see the paraphernalia, and interview those people that have had threats against them. We may want to talk to the people in the cells too, so maybe they'll open up to us.
They're probably going to come through soon because it is temp.
Do they come through?
I don't know. Do they come through?
We
No,
won't pay.
I'll pay him when I'm heading out.
He and I have joined, so only one person needs to pay unless somebody else wants to join.
Okay. I'll probably join as
What
well.
do you have to do to join? Just give
30
me the
bucks.
base.
30 bucks for the year.
$30.
All right. So where do you want to start, he'll ask.
Corpses, if they're on site.
He says there's nearby, only a few blocks from here, but
Okay, how about the criminals that you've got?
he says he has a few of the criminals currently here. He says they're loose connections. Anyone that was heavily connected with it most likely is in the morgue somewhere. They just haven't found them. So he's talking about like kind of informants and secondhand connections that they have kind of rounded up.
So nobody direct.
He says nobody direct.
We'll still talk to the secondhand informants. They might even know more than they think they do.
All right.
You're just going to tell me everything I want to know.
Okay.
It's going to be best for you.
You promise?
They got a Kelly Tate, a Victor Ford, and a Gene Hayes.
Kelly Tate, we start with that
Why
person.
can't we just call them person 1, person 2, and person 3?
Because they've got
If you want.
names.
Yeah, there's real people here.
Those are real people.
Jeez, and everything's I'm an ass.
You find out the first one.
At least I call people by their name.
We'll go ahead and talk to the first person. Have brought to an interview room. What's your interrogation skill?
I've got an interrogation of 15 and an intimidation of 18.
Why don't you go with the interrogation? I'll aid you.
All right.
I'll be the good cop. You be the bad cop.
All right.
I think that comes
I
pretty
have a
natural,
16
right?
and
Yep.
a 17.
But I'm aiding,
Okay.
so that's my role. We interrogate them.
I'm a former police
Good cop, bad
officer
cop.
here, you know. I'm pretty good at this too.
I kind of can't. Really? I've never seen you interview.
Yeah, you're always
anyone
like,
in my life.
when do I get to shoot stuff? And blast, sandblast, everything. Oops, I didn't need that. Who needs to read?
2
All
minutes
right.
into the
You want to be the good cop then? Go ahead. I step back.
Good cop. Why can't we do
Oh,
bad?
I've heard of the.
Why can't we do bad cop, good cop, worst cop?
All right, sounds good.
Creepy guy. I think we got this.
All right, I'm just aiding, rolling to aid.
Well, before you make any interrogation rolls,
Yep.
you know, talk to the individual.
Oh, sorry. We can't-
Interrogation, I win!
He's not sitting here. We just sit here, you know.
I break him.
Tell us what we'll get.
It's like a fortune cookie. What's
Yep.
inside?
I break him and I slurp out the knowledge.
Oh, we're going to be role playing.
See, you should all come over and join the demon side. Then we'd do that. We'd just be like, that's what they do. So what's his name here?
Person 1.
Tracy?
Kelly
Trixie?
Tate.
Tate? All right, Tate, so what's your story?
All right. The lieutenant will let you in. He says that they've got a viewing room immediately off from here.
They'll be watching.
Yeah.
Jeb,
He
can
says,
you maybe-
don't make me have to come in here.
Nope.
Wait, I thought we were going to the corpse. Are we?
No, the corpse is in a different building, friend.
Okay.
That's why we're starting here, because we got people here.
He said he couldn't hold them all here, and they're still forensicsing pieces and bits.
All right. We understand that you know something about the murders.
He says, I didn't know anything about that happening at that King Island massacre.
Except you had some dealings with the people that were there.
At best, I worked with procuring certain things that some of these refineries
Okay.
might be using to do other things. I think they're using it as some sort of industrial cleaner, from what I understand.
So, like, what kind of items did they want?
He'll say like certain sugars, maybe yeast. He says
malt,
things that are
barley.
might be developing into bread manufacturing, things of that. He
I
hears
asked
that
him-
there's a what the hell do you have you? He hears that there's a famine happening over in London. He thinks maybe they're investing on donating bread and time and things of that nature.
I do.
What was
ask
the
him-
weirdest thing that they ordered from you?
Yes.
Weirdest thing? Can't think of anything terribly weird.
Is there any unexplained
Did
sights
they
that
order
you can't
broccoli
answer?
without the stems or anything weird like that?
So you can't remember everything that went through there.
Anything memorable?
Memorable.
This is the part where you go in, you're like, do you remember anything?
I ask them, tell me about
They were asking for some fences a while back. You say like probably a week or two ago, they were looking to get rid of some certain things, sell off to
Wood
various
fences?
people.
What
Metal
were they
fences?
looking to
It's
get
just
rid of?
fences. Like there's somebody to get rid of something, gave you the money for it.
Oh, sorry. okay.
Fences.
Yeah.
Not
What did they
opposed.
have?
Because
You
they
know
didn't know specifically.
Okay.
I may have directed them to a guy.
I mean, the guy you directed him to, does he handle automobiles? Does he handle slot machines? Does he handle jewelry?
Nah, he's one of those weird European types. Has
is
a
he-
long mustache. Did the incense type of thing.
He buys odd objects, perhaps?
Yeah, he's like one of those weird British
Cheerios.
British Indian people.
So where's it? Tell us where you can be found.
British Indian, okay.
Give me a-
He'll tell you so-and-so address.
Does it happen to
Says they usually don't open until around 7 p.m. at night.
Does it happen to coincide with one of the two names we have for curio dealers?
No.
Okay. And those two ingredients that he kind of remembers, do they all seem to be brewing type things?
They are. I mean, there are some kind of minor drug stuff as well, and you imagine that they might be able to do a few different things. That they could maybe be making bread and industrial cleaners and things of that nature. But yeah,
Nothing rings the bell from chemistry as far as, like, that's primarily used to make.
at worst they can make something equivalent to maybe
You'd want occultism or
a
something. like that.
napalm type compound, but nothing that severe.
How about occultism? Does that give me any insight? Like, oh, they wanted a lot of guano. Maybe that wasn't to make gunpowder. Maybe it was
fireballs.
to make fireballs. Okay,
You can give me a thaumatology, perception based.
absolutely.
Can I do an alchemy or poisons?
Yeah, perception based.
Which one would be better? Alchemy or
I did mine by
poisons?
10.
Either
points.
or, there'd be different information.
Can I do them both?
10.
10.
I did it by 10.
And I got it by 8.
Which one is it?
Thaumatology.
Perception.
Perception based. Thaumatology.
Alchemy based by 6, and poisons by... Poisons straight up.
Thaumatology.
There are some things that could be poisoned. Alchemically, there's nothing that immediately sounds terribly interesting. Thaumatologies by 8 and 9, was it?
I got
10.
8.
I got 10.
10?
8.
There's several small rituals that could be performed. Healing rites, burnt offerings, a lot of minor, small things.
Tell us more
Nothing
about
that
burnt
immediately screams
offerings.
like summonings.
Okay. I have a notebook. I'll pass it around.
Let's bring the next guy in.
Yep. Thank you. You've been of help. We'll let the cops know that you told us what you knew. Maybe they'll go more lenient on you.
This is
Bring
all
in.
right.
Shake his hand. Bring in the next guy.
Victor Ford.
Victor Ford. Hello, Mr. Ford. You found yourself in something of a mess.
I did.
We were wondering if you could tell us more about your interactions with the people that you were interacting with.
He says, can you narrow that down?
Sure, the people that at the
Crimson Gang.
Crimson Gang.
He says that he occasionally would remove a bullet here and there off the record. He says sometimes, I mean, he would do a little bit of cleanup work, as in, removing stains from clothing and that sort of thing, officially.
Did you ever see unusual wounds? Not like guns and knives, but like
That
somebody
would
was
suggest
attacked
that
by
they had a pit bull fighting ring.
a tiger or something. Yeah, pitbull fighting ring, something like that.
And I would say no.
No.
So you saw some kind of odd wounds. Why don't you be a little more specific with
Can you
there?
give me an interrogate?
You're the only one who has to make the roll.
Well, it's not interrogation if you're just asking him plainly.
Yep.
Success by 10.
By 10? Ultimately, he kind of pushed pressure on him. He said that he saw, what the hell is it? Freddy had some sort of weird cut sometime after the massacre. He treated him, but I mean, they're kind of gnarly. They didn't heal right. It's like somebody.
Is he still alive?
It's like somebody hit him with like a.
Jagged knife?
Yeah, like he said like a couple small jagged knives, or maybe like some sort of like what do you say, taxidermied like owl claw or some shit like that.
Okay.
Did he survive though?
From what he understood, he said, yeah. I mean, it was only minor. It was minor cuts and abrasions, but he heard that he got himself killed recently, but he doesn't know anything about that.
Do these people ever? You ever hear them ever talking about strange things like rituals that they did or anything like that? A cult that they joined, a leader?
He seems a little bit more pliant than he was prior to talking to Hunter a bit, but he'll say, hey, yeah, that Mom Malone, she was a little bit weird, a little bit kooky. She'd occasionally have stuff that they were running. I didn't really deal with any of that. Like I said, I have my kind of niche that I had dealt with them in the past, but she definitely did some weird stuff like that. And obviously,
Like voodoo type stuff,
yeah.
you're saying?
So Patrick must know a little bit about that. Occasionally he knows weird chants and phrases and stuff like that, kind of old world type stuff. The oogle google boogle, wherever the hell
Are they
they are.
Sicilian, or where are they from? Most of the people in this game.
He'd say that most of them are
Scottish, Irish.
they would have a strong background from, what was it, Boston? I'm not sure what the demographic for immigrants heading to Boston were. Irish. So yeah, Irish, Scottish.
Okay.
How about Mama? Is she still out in Lewis then, or what happened to her?
From what I understand, I mean, occasionally her and Patrick Malone are pretty close, but
So where do they frequent? Where's their residency?
it's fairly frequently. He says the king, was it the King of Ireland?
The hotel.
How about, they have favorite watering holes, things of that nature? Places they like to hang out
I
at?
think there's a Jake's Place, and he'll tell you the area that it's currently at.
Okay.
He says occasionally they're speakeasy, but he thinks that they closed down probably a week or so after the attack.
Okay.
I mean,
Jake's Place might still be open though, right?
maybe. He doesn't know for sure.
We get everything out of this game?
I think so.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Was there one more guy?
Yeah.
There's one more guy. You're gonna have to sit through it.
Gene
I'm
Haynes?
sitting on the other side of the window.
Oh, he's gone to the other side and we've lost him.
No, he's never been.
I've never been in
Okay.
there. I'm
Our
probably
strategy
eating
doesn't
donuts.
work now.
So you're in your interrogation. I'm eating.
3 hours have gone by, still making love to the donut.
Yeah.
Lieutenant is taking notes. I suppose
Subject needs to load.
he's not. He does have a. He does look as though he's not too sure about this occult angle that you guys are working, but maybe it's how you roll.
We can talk to him between witnesses, right?
I'll
Just
let him
be-
know. I'll give him a play-by-play analysis. It's like
There you
some
go.
of these weird people.
He's vaguely aware of Mom Malone. From what he understands, she's still active within the gang. He says that she's not going to be easy to crack. It's very likely that she's still around. I mean, they've been looking for her as well because they imagine that she would probably know where Patrick Malone is. He said any information about anyone knowing where Mom Malone is.
Okay.
He tells you their original name is what the hell have you? No, he'll have the information for that. Her name is actually Mav Murphy. Patrick Malone, her son, actually changed his name when he started becoming higher up in the gang, just to kind of bleed off a little bit of what the hell is it? Leave a little bit of heat off of her, but she gets involved in these gang activities occasionally too.
Family affair.
Let's bring in the
From
next
what he
one.
understands, yeah.
Let's bring in the next guy.
Bring in the last person.
This is a really good donut, Mr. McElroy.
He's like licking the sugar off of it.
Yeah.
Taking the world's smallest bites.
Right. There's a fairly young individual, maybe 16, 17. He's very nervous as you kind of come in.
This is the one we rough up.
We understand that you found yourself entangled in the incident at the hotel.
I didn't have anything to do with the hotel.
Well, then just come clean and tell us what you saw.
I don't know. I don't know what I saw. I saw some things, but not everything.
You see things that you find hard processing, you can't quite imagine, put them into words.
Well, I
Unusual things.
I suppose that whole incident with the cops. I can't believe that. I mean, there was a shootout, and I didn't know them making any kind of booby traps or
Did you
flechette
witness it?
bombs. Like, no, I wasn't there.
What was your contact with the gang? What did you do for them?
I mostly ran errands, things like that, drop-offs.
Did you run errands for Mom alone?
Occasionally I would. She was a little bit weird, but yeah, I would.
What
So
kind of
what kind-
errands did you do for her?
She had
Where's
like
she
a.
at?
We'll find that out next, but let's find out if she's buying bodies.
She would occasionally kind of requisition me to go to antique dealers, pick up weird books. I didn't really look inside. Sometimes they smelled weird, like they were like coffee grinds or something or whatever, or like kind of weird, what do you say, like foreign smells.
Did you ever frequent? I give them the description I have for the one curio.
I've occasionally gone to that location, yeah.
And
Where
where
do
did
you usually deliver these things?
He said there's a cabin just outside of Boston. She goes there fairly frequently.
okay.
Tell us about this cabin. Where's
How do you get there?
How do you get there?
He says he doesn't know the address. I mean, they don't send mail
I didn't
there.
ask the
but
address. I asked
You
how to
could
get
drive
there.
us there, though, right?
He says that he hasn't driven too much. I mean, the gang
Can you
had a
answer this
car,
question?
but he
How did
doesn't.
you get there?
He doesn't have a car. I would usually just kind of ride a bike out in that area. Nobody will usually stop me.
I understand, but you still haven't answered my question how to get there.
Oh, I was getting to that, and he asked me other questions, and I got
Just tell me how to
flustered.
get there.
Yeah, he says once you head up to, there's a park near here, and you follow the river until there's like a large rock, and he says there's a really big tree there, and then he says if you look around for a minute, there's kind of a walking path. It splits and kind of left and right, and one heads off to kind of some caves, but the right heads off eventually up to that cabin house.
So I don't want to go left. I want to go right.
Yeah, he says right from where the river is. You keep heading up.
All right.
How many miles? How many blocks?
He says probably like 15 miles from here.
Okay.
I mean,
Go
it took
through
me several hours on
I
bike
come
to
over
get up
there to the one-way mirror, and I write on my notepad, and I hold it up there, and it says, "What's the bail for this guy?" I'm holding it up.
What is it? The lieutenant will tell you that they don't really have too much information on them. They only can hold them for so long. They're already kind of close to their time period, but he says none of these people have their lawyers. So he would probably say that this individual out of the rest, they would probably threaten him a little bit, tell him to keep his nose out of trouble, and then send him on his way.
I'm like, all right, I'll go tell him. I'll go in there. Tell him he's being charged for the murder of 50 cops. Shut the door and walk away.
You give me a fast talk.
Now's not the time to roll.
Oh, it's like, "You cop killer!" Bam! We just kill him right there. Vigilante! We walk out.
5, 9, 5, 6.
Why aren't you rolling Cthulhu dice, man? You need
No,
every
by
bonus
five.
you can
By
The
get.
kid starts to scream, "No, I didn't do nothing. I wasn't even in there. I was over at my girl's place.
I'm walking out
I
there.
didn't-
What the hell? What's his bail? That's what I want to know.
I can't. You can't see me in there.
I'll just be like-
I didn't have anything to do with
All
it."
right,
down
so we're
in
gonna
the
take him
chair.
on this. Where's the
All right, he
chief?
kind of sit down further
And
to
then
the
I'm gonna
chair.
walk out.
He's sitting right beside me. He's watching me eat the donut.
He looks over at him. He's like, "I didn't have nothing to do with none of those the flechette bombs or the axe traps. They said that murdered all those people. Like, I don't know
If
how.
you let us
I don't know how
rent
to
that
make any.
cabin.
I know.
That's how you
If you let
interrogate
us,
him.
if you let us right to that cabin, I think we could
Make a
do
deal.
something for you.
I'm looking at
God,
Junior.
Jeffrey, you need your rotten
Looking
ass.
back.
You need to...
That wasn't me. It was somebody walked by.
No, it was you.
Are you outside or inside?
I'm at the door.
Okay.
Death by ketchup.
Exactly.
I'll help. I'll help wherever you need to go out there.
All right.
All right.
Can we get the chief to release him to our custody?
Yeah, he will release him to your custody.
All right. Giddy up, little pony. Let's go.
We're gonna keep handcuffs on him though.
Why?
says-
He's not going to run. You're not going to run, are you?
He says, "No, I'm not going to run.
Exactly. Then I'll have to break your legs.
I've got
Let's
my
go.
whole life ahead of me. I don't want to be. I didn't kill nobody. I didn't kill anyone.
That's right. Just quit being so twitchy over there. You're starting to make me nervous.
I can't help it. I can't stop shaking."
Well, God damn it. Get a control on it there. All right, we go walking down.
I'll reach into my bag and be like, "Okay, I have the needles for this. We can handle this. You just Hold still. We'll
What are
settle
you
you
doing?
down.
Wait,
God,
no,
You're like a one-man
I don't need-
wrecking crew. We've got information right here. You're going to sedate them.
Yeah.
I don't have a needle.
He's already twitching out. You just leave him alone.
I just don't know. I don't know what they want to. I don't.
Just
I
breathe.
don't.
Just breathe.
That's how you fix the twitching. Just let them just wear themselves out.
It seems as though he might have hyperventilated.
Put them in the car.
Check
Do we
his
want to do any
pulse.
other research before
The
we head out
lieutenant
there?
does kind of give you guys a
I
look.
pick him up. I throw him in the car.
He says, "All right, just don't rough him up."
Oh no.
Trust me, it's all verbal from here on out.
We'll make sure
Hasn't it been?
we'll make sure we leave him as we found him.
Yeah. Do you know where he lives? What district or anything?
Yeah, there was it. He'll tell him that his mom has a place up in so and so.
Actually, do we have a car here? Is it your driver took
My
us?
driver.
Okay.
Yep. He's waiting outside for
All
us.
right. So we throw him in the boot, and then we.
Throw him in the trunk. How is he going to track the story to go from the trunk?
He's passed out. He ain't tracked nothing.
Remember that time we got shot in the back? Well, the exhaust leaks into the trunk.
We open it up. He's purple. Close it.
Well, at least we're on the river. Fun. Hey, look, he's taking.
Go back to the chantry. Can you make him look like he's alive, and then we'll just put him somewhere?
Freeze him, guys. Freeze him.
Weekend at Bernie's situation.
It's usually the way the innocent happen around us.
No,
What
go
time
back,
of the day
go
is it
back
right
to the
now?
chantry. Do you know how to
Right now,
animate
after the
dead
interrogations,
bodies?
I'd probably say you guys got here somewhere around noon. It's probably like 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. right now.
All right, let's go drive over there. Wake this guy up.
All right. I get the ammonia snaps under his nose.
He wakes up right away. Huh.
Got him in the
It's
front
gonna be
seat.
okay.
All right, we're almost to the river here.
You guys take some time. It takes you about 15 minutes to get out there.
Send shallow.
Ultimately, you can give me a send shallows.
Laser gun out.
Yeah. By one.
From what you can tell, what have you? Heading out there.
My rolls lately on Cthulhu Days have been horrible.
That doesn't mean that you quit. You
Yes,
just-
it does. When it's been 17s and then an 18,
You got to roll the bad magic out of
But
it.
what do you make this last one by?
by one.
By one? Okay. There's nothing that seems to be interesting from what you can tell.
Okay. And then as we're
Like I said,
driving,
it takes you 15 minutes to get out there. He tells you that he has a
What
phone
for you?
What?
You get to work past 10 or stay past 10 time?
I still have to work at 3.
Oh, okay.
Or get up at 3.
Ah, you're going to be
morning?
running with the big dogs.
for the 8 p.m. 50-50.
PM is different.
It's
Yeah.
in the AM.
He's still dirty.
Okay. What he tells you is he says there's a road out there that he can end up driving along the path, but he says there's some sort of back access. He doesn't usually take
Works on
that.
yards.
He usually takes
I'm
the bike
guessing
path
stock
up there.
shelves, but-
Yeah. You want to do the back road, or you want to walk in the way he usually biked in?
Let's take,
He said he's seen trucks out there, so there must be
Let's
a
just-
road that comes into
let's
it
just
somewhere.
take the walk. There's things
Yeah,
on the
I
path.
agree. Let's just go the
We'll
way
walk.
he goes.
Should we just leave him here then?
Just leave the car. No, he's coming with.
As we're walking, I want to take the monocle and sort of filter through the different settings.
Got
All
it.
the way up except for the suicidal setting.
Just black smear over your
You
head.
took
You
the
see me?
last Heath bar.
What's that?
You took the last Heath bar, didn't you?
No, there's others in there. There's like 5.
All right. So heading up into the area, checking. For the most part, nothing looks terribly unusual. Other than, I mean, there's a few settings that get an incredible amount of detail about the material around you, airflow, the composition of trees, and other things of that nature. But I would say nothing looks unusual from other areas you've seen that happen at. You do get a reading on the dimensional setting. Close to that region. You guys are about 6 minutes in. He kind of points it off in the far distance as you guys are walking. It seems to be probably a 2-bedroom, kind of 1-story shed. Not shed, but a cabin. There might be a basement attached to it. It's not too far off from a river.
That's it there?
He says, yeah, that's it.
Okay, why don't you run back to the car, kid?
Hang on with my driver.
He's,
Get you
okay.
back home.
All right? Don't do anything that will make me want to kill you, all right?
He says, yeah, I understand.
Auto hypnosis by 7, I think.
You guys ready?
No, I got auto hypnosis.
We'll go
So
find
it's
Mamma Mia.
plus
By
3.
6, by 6.
By 3.
Auto hypnosis by 2.
By 2. That'll give you plus 2.
Okay.
And then, what else do I want? I will throw up, just in case to deflect harm.
Otherwise, there seems to be, as you slowly approach from there does seem to be a smaller shed, probably was it the size that you could fit like a riding lawnmower in, but it's not much bigger than that. And there do appear to be some sort of road that heads north from here. And when I say road, it's just kind of a dirt road that somebody's removed the stumps from.
I'm going to go around back so she can't weasel out the back. You guys go in the front?
I'll just scan the property
You want
again
me
with
out
the
back? I don't mind.
monocle.
There are,
Want to go in teams too?
Sure.
All right,
looking
you and I will take
around,
the
you
back.
can
Or
find
you
what
can
appear
talk,
to
so you
be
should probably be in the front.
writs written
You
and
and I will
tied to
cover the back,
trees,
yeah?
kind of like talismans around the area that do seem to have some sort of dimensional properties.
I'll let you guys know. These little pieces of paper.
Pixies, do you think? Fairies?
Ritz.
It looks like it's
No.
twine. There's pieces of paper that are kind of wrapped and kind of soaked
Like
in
their version
oil.
of Ward.
Yeah.
Let's take them apart.
Alright.
Otherwise, I'll
They're
Grab
not,
one,
they're
take
not
a look.
hurting anything. Remember this. We usually go in there and we're like, oh, look, here's the occultist person. Oh, no, they're the innocent person trying to protect themselves from the person that's trying to kill them.
All right,
and then
I'll
the
buy
innocent
that.
person gets killed because we took down their wards. And we're like, oh, geez. I guess
My
they weren't
bad.
guilty. I'm holding their legs.
Why are you holding everyone's legs?
Because that's what happens. Innocent people hold
Back
their
in the
legs.
day, you guys used to steal other NPCs' magical
Stuff.
equipment. You're like, that's a staff, isn't it? Mine. How am I going to fight the deep ones?
Hex
That shit happens.
You should have been stronger now. Let me take your staff.
Yeah.
All right.
This is how it works in the new world.
I missed my cast.
Give us the gasoline and we'll leave them go.
Just walk away.
I missed cast grace by 2.
Walk away
I'll
from
try
the
it again in a
staff.
little bit.
Go around the back. Is there a back door or back windows?
It does seem like there's a back door. As you come up, you guys can give me a perception-based tracking.
We've done what we always say we're not going to do. Those two have gone to the back. We've gone up to the front.
It's not a huge place. You should have line of sight unless something horribly
Okay.
amiss happens.
Perception-based tracking.
I have success by 12.
Tracking is perception based.
Well, he's double checking.
You
can
might have an
audit some
IQ
other
base in this
stat.
instance.
By
Six.
5.
By 5, 6,
12.
12, 5. From the looks of it, this area is pretty heavily trafficked, most likely by a large, kind of a mid-size farming truck that most likely has a flatbed with kind of sides on it. Occasionally there's some heavy cargo, but it looks like it comes out of here fairly frequently. Looks like the last time maybe a few, probably about 6 or 7 hours ago. Looks like it might come in here later on in the evening, given kind of how the trail looks relative to the
There
moisture.
hours, it's a forward.
I'll send shallows here.
Tell off from the stairs, huh?
Yep.
9 by 4. By 4.
By 4. You'd say this area is seems to be barred from certain dimensional entities, most likely those things on the trees. But there is a faint signal bleeding in from near the river.
You guys knocking on the front?
Yep, we'll knock on the front door.
Is there any windows?
Yeah, there's
I
windows.
look in the windows.
There's kind of thick curtains over them. You can kind of see interior.
Okay. Do you see any movement in
You don't
there?
see any movement initially. You haven't heard anything coming up here.
Hello.
Any doors in the back?
There's a door in the back. There's a door in the front. Looks like there's also a storm cellar on the left side of the house, so farthest away from you.
Storm
What kind
cellar.
of? You gonna watch the storm cellar? Keep an eye on it. Just stand at the corner so I can see it.
I'll deflect harm around B and I.
Okay, you can give me a roll.
Shotgun blast through the front door.
By 2.
By 2. Yep, you can get a basic field up. It's not huge. It's covering 2 people.
Knock again.
I try that back door handle.
Doesn't seem to be locked.
It's open back here. I'm going in.
I'll see if the front door's locked.
Okay.
I open the door.
Is it locked?
What is it for the front door? No.
I stand to one side. So
All right.
not in front of the door.
Creak's open. If anything, it looks like this place is a little bit drafty, but
Can I see B as my door swings open?
It's a shotgun house.
Yep.
I would say a little bit. You can see light coming in from the front, but you don't have an exact clear shot to the front.
Okay. Mama, we're here. Come
No,
out wherever you are.
no response thus far.
All right.
Let's check the cellar
Peek,
after
peek,
the house.
peek. Start going in. Start searching.
Looking through, it looks like there are at least a few people that might have been here originally. The house, probably from what you can tell, I'll use your previous trackings. The house previously looks like it might only have like 1 or 2 people stay here. But as of recent, there's been a couple other people that have been, I suppose, keeping supplies here. There's a lot of newspaper clippings about art expos. What is it? These 2 individuals, Anthony Hewer and Bertram Digby.
Are those the 2 antiquities dealers?
Supposedly, yeah. There was also a lot of information, kind of. You can see there's some blood spatter on the ground. Probably looks to be 4 or 5 days old. There's kind of a broken chair where it looks like somebody might have been interrogated here.
There you go. I bet you're one of our antiquities
There
dealers.
are strange things. There's minor alchemical goods here. Things that have protective resonances. Even what is it? Kind of material that you might make wards out of. There also are kind of strange poison compounds here as well. Overall, there does seem to be kind of a small voodoo-esque shrine. With the cult, it seems to be more just kind of a... you can give me a mythos.
Okay. 5.
By 3.
5.
5.
8.
1 and 3, it looks like some sort of weird pagan. It's not voodoo, more of a. It's how to put it, like some sort of Celtic shrine here. With a 5 and an 8, it seems to be more like a minor shrine, or at least a burnt offering to the kind of black goat of the woods.
God damn it.
So there's some hints of some cult things here, but there's also hints of some deep occult stuff.
Black Goat of the Woods, remind me. Where else?
Althea Montrose.
It was the
being
demon
drugged.
thing. Drink the milk and go bad.
You know,
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Kind of lightning bolt the shrine.
No,
Black Goat of the Woods.
kick it over if you want. But
I
don't
kicked the
mind.
shrine over.
Okay. Knock it over onto the ground.
I'll check the rest of the house for
Yeah.
demonical
Trap
source.
doors,
Yep.
etc., etc.
They've got a basement. They've got a storm cellar.
All right.
All right.
And then we should check by the river for the weird signals.
So you guys can give me. You're checking the storm cellars. Well, you can give me a search roll.
Is it light down there?
I'm assuming you're bringing adequate illumination. There's like oil lamps here.
Search by
There's
8.
plenty of firewood outside for the fireplace. By 2.
Ocho.
Oh,
8.
what now?
8. You said you were learning Spanish.
By 3.
Learning Spanish, yeah.
He's not talking numbers. He's using words.
Yeah, it's like burrito and taco. Chimichanga.
And hot sauce.
Yeah.
Smothered in red gravy sauce.
All right, but what did you get by? What did you
By
make?
3.
3, 4. Okay. Checking over the place for the most part. In the basement, there does look as though a lot of supplies occasionally gets cashed out here, but then gets moved somewhere else at some point in the future. You would also see that there are various kind of small occult herbs, other things of that nature, usually for kind of burnt offerings or kind of minor charms. You do come across in some of the books upstairs references and notes to some sort of like 2 slabs. You don't find them anywhere in the house. Apparently, however, you do come across what appears to be a sale of receipt to one of these antiquity dealers. What the hell is it? Bertram Digby. There's also a little bit of blood on the receipt.
Does it look like they purchased something or sold something?
Looks like they sold something probably about 3 or 4 days ago.
Okay.
When did the event happen?
About a week ago.
Let's go down by the river because they made a trip down to the river.
Did we go down into the
Yeah.
cellar?
That's what we're
Yep.
on.
Okay.
Let's go to the river.
I think we're gonna have to go to the antiquities dealers next.
Probably. Do we burn the house down? Yeah, leave
Let's
it.
leave it.
No, why don't we somehow set some sort of warning if they come back?
Otherwise, there are kind of books and other things of that nature here,
Right.
kind of a small library.
Maybe
You guys
we-
thumbed through it
no.
and kind of looked at notes, but you haven't read everything line by line,
Take them with
looking
us.
in there.
Yeah, pack them up.
Hey, Professor, you should read these while we're walking.
Professor's not here. We only have Jeb. Jeb doesn't like to read.
I really don't.
That's why he joined the Demon Worshippers.
All right.
Now I just dance. I do hand gestures.
And grow a beard.
You do find a site that does appear to be some sort of an occult ritual site near the riverbanks. It looks like the river stones have been arranged in a certain formation. You guys can give me either a religious ritual, or you can give me a. I would say you could default off occult.
So books for Mom alone.
Yep.
5.
7.
On the nose.
You said religious ritual.
Yep. Religious ritual or an occult.
Religious ritual's better, though. Ooh, I see a 1.
1, 2, 3, 8.
Okay.
By 3.
By 3. Altogether, assuming you guys are pooling your information again and asking
Yes.
questions to each other, the site does seem to be some sort of offering site, but it also might work as some sort of summoning site. This might be the region in which the spirit activity was coming from. But for whatever reason, nothing's been summoned here. At least there's nothing been offered here recently. But it does look like somebody dismantled a ward, kind of protecting from outwards. So it would be protecting whoever was inside of this region.
Check it
So
with my
you're-
monocle for any type of like psychic residue. or
There's a small amounts of dark fluid emissions. Also, what you would say is, what the hell have you? Dimensional energies here, a fair
Dark
amount.
fluid emissions.
Tracking reveal anything in the dirt?
Dark fluid is an extra dimensional
Compressed space.
compressed space. So, any times that there's rips and tears, some of it could bleed through.
Okay. Now you guys know that, I guess. And,
Yeah.
all right.
It's not the same thing as cross-bridge particles, but
Then I'll do it since shallows
Does
here.
tracking work at all, or just to physically see the ground?
you can give me a tracking perception base. I would say tracking straight up. It's not perception based. So give it based on something else.
Since shallows by 4.
Tracking by 9.
Tracking by 12.
12, 9.
2.
There is something washed ashore here, but some sort of humanoid form, maybe about, I don't know, you want to say 300, 400 pounds, did land here, probably going 50 or 60 miles per hour.
Does it look like
It
a
has
controlled
hints.
landing or uncontrolled?
It hit and then dispersed all of its weight upon 2 legs. It's somewhat in the ballpark of what Byakhee do, but these are more human-esque footprints, other than they're not quite human. They're human in shape. But you're looking at river rocks.
Could
trying
it
to
be a
make
gargoyle or something?
You're not sure.
Hybrid.
What had been depicted was some sort of winged humanoid figure. They didn't get a good look at the face. From the description, it sounds a little bit like a Byakhee, but the marks here don't seem to indicate a Byakhee itself. With your sense shallows, something did come here from above. There's I suppose you can give me a thaumatology or an occult.
Which one's better?
Different information, I would say,
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
only
each
if
of
you
us or
send-
just him?
from him using this ability.
Okay.
By 8.
8.
Sense Steely allow me to get anything?
There hasn't been huge disturbances in the region
Okay.
relative to that you've seen. So at least no teleportations or
Yeah.
fold space types of events. You made your thaumatology by
8.
8. It feels weird because it doesn't feel like a lot of power was used to expend, but there was something very specific that was used in a summoning event. Some sort of
Fetish?
You're not sure. You think that they managed to something more powerful than you'd normally be able to with a specific focus of some kind. It does give you a sense of something probably old. Did you bring Browning or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
fungus. Or
Yeah.
Zykes would tell him, what is it? It smells like some sort of old world demon.
What does that mean?
It's his cousin.
As in, normally the ones that Browning would interpret this for you.
Oh, we got the
So he
brooch.
says like some Rumpelstiltskin type stuff, you know, hidden lores, names,
names.
signs, that type of weird stuff. He says.
Okay.
So he says he bet there's like a set of rules it has to follow.
Okay.
I'll ask Scarlett if she's ever heard of anything like this.
There are things like that exist.
Well, I think we found everything here. Why don't we go read the notes? See what
Yep,
Mom on
read the
boys were up
notes.
to summon him.
I like it. Let's walk back to the car.
All right.
We have no means of setting a trap here that could give us a warning.
Whoever's been,
Go
it
ahead
seems
and
as though only
process.
2 people here are usually here, but at least 4 people have been driving up here and back. And given from what you've seen, there probably were stacks of 45 rounds and things of that nature. So whether or not you guys are worried about a standard firefight,
I can elder sign it up.
Quit
so they
shooting me
can't
with the
go in.
45. I mean it this time. Why don't
There
we?
was there stacks of 45 in there still?
yeah, it would be.
Burn it down.
Don't burn it down.
Why don't we just?
We shouldn't have kicked over the shrine.
Right.
But
Why don't
it's
we
too late
just
to do
camp
that.
out here? They're going to show up in the evening. When they show up, we can talk to them. You can read the book while we wait.
Okay.
Sure, sounds good.
So, I go fix myself a sandwich. I don't. Not the black milk shit here. What was I thinking? You see, I've got the sandwich on me. I take it over to the trash. I put it in the trash.
Okay.
Pull out my pickled herring barrel. Anybody? Anybody? Pickled herring. Start dishing it up into
Go one
bowls.
to Scarlett.
Okay. Yeah, she's fine with it. She'll smell it.
We wait inside or we waiting outside?
Right outside.
Let's wait inside.
I don't
Why
care
do,
where
we,
we wait.
why do we need to announce our presence to them? We'll just wait inside.
Okay.
As long as it's not nighttime, we don't have to turn the light on.
Wait inside. Should somebody go back to the car and tell the driver to take it away? So maybe they have to drive past that road and they'll be wondering.
Well, they're not going to be spotted, are they?
You don't think so, unless the road that this connects to, you don't know where it connects to.
I'll tell them to go. Come back in.
So the
It's kind of
kid's
like a back
why
access.
did
You don't
the-
Okay.
think so, but maybe. I mean,
Alright.
what
So
if
who's
people
gonna
come
go
in
do
on the
that?
I'll do
footbridge?
it.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
No, it would have been funny to hear the driver be like, "Kid, I sit here all the time."
I'll tell them to come back
be
and
I
watch.
get paid $600 every 2 weeks. I don't question people.
You want them just to go drop off the kid at...
Sure.
Okay, we'll just take a vehicle if we need to.
Yep. Tell them to come back in the morning for us
Yep.
if we're not
Yep.
here.
Alright, I'll do it. Go out, tell them. Drop them off at home. Stay at a hotel. Or sleep in the car. We'll be back. Or come back in the morning if you haven't heard from us.
Okay. He drives. Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Last time I'll see a car, most likely. Oh well.
All right. So, how are you guys setting yourself up? Are you sitting on the?
Sit in the furniture. I'm trying to look out a window. Keep all the curtains pulled and stuff, so try to keep the lights off.
Yep. Absolutely. Think that what it means to tell that we're here? Think they'll send the demon in first, check it out.
Can only
I'll
hope.
try to do the mute symbol for Shroud. Try
Okay.
to do it on me. Or at least on my staff.
Not
Why are you
being
trying a new symbol?
Okay.
You haven't even put.
The whole house disappears.
Exactly.
It's a Shroud.
We're sitting there. It looks like we're in a field. The house is missing.
Missed it by 2. 3.
You're awesome.
There you go. Only missed it. That just means
Not
you
quite
do
sure
the
of it
Purple
yet.
flash.
You're going to read a book. You don't know what's in it.
Yeah, I'm sitting over there reading the book. Flip through the pages. trying to
Black
find the
goat, black
ritual.
goat, black goat!
Yeah.
If you guys are spending more time reading rather than like observing, you can give me research.
I'll do the research.
Yeah.
I'll do the
I'm on
observing.
lookout.
I'm observing.
And whenever I see something funny in the house, I'm using the little lightning bolt things. You said I can make little sparks.
What?
To get like.
So
Fair.
that
Okay.
oh my god.
I didn't have to make rolls. on
Yep,
it.
he's over there. Curtains go up. I'm going outside, guys.
Research.
Zap, zap, zap. Oh, this gauge broke. I'm sure no one needs that in the future.
12.
B's like, no, it still says empty. Keep going.
2 by 5.
By 5. Several hours pass. It's kind of closer to about 5 p.m. now. It
We're
is
supposed
starting
to
to
interview
get.
the sergeant, remember? 4:40, gets off work.
Oh man.
We're doing
Shit
things.
happens.
We're doing things.
They'll figure it out.
We don't need him anymore, anyways.
People matter, man. People matter.
Not
All
him.
So some time passes on. I mean, you are in December, so it's already kind of getting fairly late. With your research, you made it by 5. There are references to her reading some sort of ancient slab she had come across, a gift from the goat. But it seems as though she was looking down 2 individuals. What was it?
I have so many pieces of paper.
Yeah, paper horror. That's an important.
You're gonna break your clipboard. Springs in.
A Keyhole Eddie and a Nathan Webb.
Keyhole Eddie?
Yep, Keyhole Eddie.
You don't want to know what he does.
Nathan Webb.
It looks as though, what the hell is it? She has written down, kind of strikes underneath it pretty heavily, Keyhole Eddie's name. What is it? A listing for where his apartment is. Beyond that, that was the name on one of the receipts
Okay.
that it came across.
It's probably the guy that got interviewed. Had a nosebleed.
Sure. Let's hope they show up soon.
I didn't really learn anything else.
Well, we understand
I'm
there's some
saying at
demons
10
from Black
o'clock
Widow.
we should leave because they're not coming.
I don't know.
I think they'll be here.
Yeah.
At around 8:10, you end up seeing what appear to be a pair of headlights heading up the trail. Not the trail that you guys went, but the dirt road that seems to go to somewhere. They slowly kind of encroach upon the homestead, but they stop about 20 meters off.
I kind of take the window and just, I'll say peer out the curtain a little bit. What do
It'd
I
be
see?
hard for them to see you.
Yeah.
Pull up.
Seems like the vehicle has just stopped.
Reach into the pouch in my backpack and pull out the miracle ear.
Okay.
Ooh, that's an awesome idea. You're so cool.
Try to.
I pull out Gertie.
Seems like the vehicle at this point is slowly starting to back up.
I'll jinx it.
Boom! I put a round through the radiator.
Never
Okay.
mind.
You
The
can,
block.
are you
Somebody's
breaking?
right leg.
Are you breaking out the window?
No, I just step back from the window and shoot through the window.
It's pretty dark outside. You're at a vision penalty, but otherwise it's 20 meters. I'd probably say altogether you're probably at a minus. I would say a -8. You just fire from the hip.
Let me know if that fails for you. I have to back
Kind
up.
of firing through a dirty, heady curtain, then you kind of got a rough idea where the vehicle is 20 meters out into the.
That's a big thing. It's a radiator. It's a big front of a truck. It's like
Yep,
almost
I'm aware.
plus. Gives me a +1 to hit, right? So it's 7 now. Kabam! I rolled dice. I miss. Man, I put a big bullet down range. Is it anything that I...
What'd you make it by or miss by?
Let me see here. Right, that's fine if the driver gets hit.
It is.
8, 11, so I missed by 3.
By 3? I'd probably say you hit the back of the truck.
Okay.
One of the one of the wooden supports on the side kind of collapses.
Yeah.
It looks like they kind of peel out and they hit a tree as they're backing up, and then they kind of start to pull forward, and it looks like they'll have to shimmy to get.
Okay.
I'm going to use the little. I'm going to go
Hopefully we
outside
get to do
and use the
things.
flying watch thing and start following them because it goes faster.
Okay.
Well, they're not going anywhere
So
yet.
you're heading
No,
outside.
I'm going to
then?
lightning bolt the bitches.
Okay, you're going outside.
So you're heading outside.
Yep.
Okay. You open up the front door. You're heading out.
Does
I'll
anything
jinx
swoop
first the
down and
truck.
attack
Okay.
me?
Yep.
So that's what I'll do. I'll jinx the truck.
I pull
What
up
is
my laser.
Ooh.
It's not Cthulhu.
It's still a critical failure.
It's magic. Your hand
But
explodes.
it's not Cthulhu failure.
You just
But it's
jinx.
magic failure. You might want to try to.
12.
Seriously, it's getting towards the end. Just lock it.
Yep. I'm sure nothing lethal to your life will happen in the next
Nah, probably not.
10 minutes.
Yeah, what's that, right? 5 on that one. 9. 5. By 5.
By 5? All right. You don't know if anything happened as of yet. Steve?
I take out my laser pistol. If I have fast draw, I'll use it. I do have a fast draw. Hey, I can actually do something with it. I start aiming this round.
Okay.
Out of
You
tire.
pull part of the, what the hell is it, the heavy curtains aside, and you kind of can look at the truck.
Sure.
It looks like the truck backs up a little bit. It looks like it got caught on kind of a half cut down tree. Then it kind of just a wheel spins.
So I
Speed
got a broadside on it. I'm going to shoot the engine broadside.
Speed 8.
Okay.
Speed
So-
8.
You'll get a
Speed
plus
8.
1 from last
Okay.
time.
All right, so it's better. So now it's only a -7. No, I'm not going to do it. So it's only a 12, so it's going to be missed by 4.
So I
Part of the issue is there's the bright headlights over here, but then you're kind of
Well,
making
the headlights
guesses.
aren't really pointed at me anymore, right? 'Cause
Not
it's-
initially, no, but you were looking at them as they were coming towards you. So now you're kind of seeing there's the mass over here. You're
Yeah.
making a judgment about where that is, and then you haven't really aimed yet. You just pull it up, bam, bam.
Yep.
A single aim maneuver might give you what, a +5, +6.
I am looking at you as I'm aiming out there. I'm like, what the hell?
You
haven't did anything.
It's been a long time since
There's
I played-
dust on it.
Exactly.
Through the gestures.
I would
It's all
say
the
that
paradox
doesn't- I don't think
resonance
that
got built
happens
up.
for the view sigil.
Okay.
So can I? I'm guessing I'm pretty
So it's-
close by this point.
It's your turn. He fires another shot. You've now the first one you came out of the door. And these are kind of pseudo rounds. You can start to head out the door at that point in time.
How close am I to the car?
What's your base speed?
8.
8. So you could get 12 meters away from the car just by sprinting out there.
It's about here to there, right?
Here to the
Inside wall.
Yeah.
inside wall now.
Lightning bolt. I'm going to aim at the front of the car to try to take out. Cars at this time, yeah, they had electronics. They had, a
They
They have
start.
batteries.
The batteries,
Yeah,
they
the
had
batteries would
alternator,
alternators.
generators.
It's
all
under
metal.
cap.
It's all metal though. Metal springs in the seats.
Everybody's in there. Their fillings are smoking.
Metal steering wheel, right?
Yeah.
Right, and give me a lightning roll. Lightning bolt.
Nice.
Although they did typically have rubber
Yeah.
floor seat,
Yeah.
Underlays.
What's
Then
that?
cloth on the seat too.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, they're wearing shoes. They're fine.
It'd be wool.
With steel nails through them.
It'd be wool.
Top nails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock it.
It's the end of the night apparently.
Why do you need these luck for magic? I just don't understand you guys.
There's 10. And 2 10.
I do see
So
this a lot.
pass by 1.
To start backing up.
Okay. What is it? So you pass by 1, you said?
Yep.
It's a little bit anemic, but it does hit the front of the vehicle. The lights blow out.
The lights
The
go.
lights blow.
Then they explode.
I like how they went.
Yep.
Did you burn a quintessence for that ability or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you burned a quintessence.
You can roll for damage. I think the damage for that would have
keep
been.
2 on my person just for this purpose.
You killed their headlights. Good job.
Now they can't see
The
where they're
damage
driving.
is actually 66. It's just it hits the vehicle. It looks like the window. Was it the lights blow out? You vaguely can see
Hey, remember how the thing that
You
was
can vaguely
making
see in the
this-
afterglow that there are 2 men getting out of the back of the truck. You don't know what happens after they saw that happening. You just saw a flash, and then there's just 2 figures on the ground. You hear a window smashing, and then we can end right there.
XPs?
I'll give everyone 2.
It's because we're stinking it up.
I'll say.
You guys are doing fine.
If we could roll better.